Sniper two.
Very nice.
Okay.
Good pace of play from Vici though. And Senya cooking back to his tier 2, and it looks like Mickey is lining up a hook onto XM. He's not going to get it. Just scrapes past the backside of the DP.
Top lane,
Top lane, the slug. Yeah, you're right. The trample down. And that's just a solo kill from BAB.
Yeah. Just onslaughts it, tramples him down. Matu copping some tips now as well. 3 kills in this top lane. Matu's lane, it's over. He needs to go jungle at this point. They needed to have a stronger start, and they couldn't. That very first kill just kind of, from there, just snowballed out of control.
Yeah, and in comparison, early on in the first 3 minutes, you were spinning the story of both offlaners having struggles. Things have turned on their head for the Primal Beast, but the Darkseer is still having difficulties. 2600 net worth. Yeah, he's a level 7. He hasn't really been able to pressure the Juggernaut at all.
You can't really contest farm, because if you try and rely on like surging away, or if Jug runs at you, the Omni Slash will finish you off. So it's always so tricky to kind of come up, fight over the farm. Jug just has more damage as well, so he's going to get a ton of denies. So just really tough situation for Zai to be in.
Exceptional first 10 minutes here from Vici. We'll see if they can keep this ball rolling. Liquid have a lot of work to do, and in large part it's going to come down to how quickly you can get Insane into this level 6, because Mortimer's Kisses, with this teamfight combo they've got, it's incredibly important. As Zai getting punched down in the bottom lane, quickly dispatched with by Frisk's TP. Even bringing Yang down here, expecting a full-blown team fight. Liquid do have 4 members down here. I'm not sure if Vici wants to try and bring everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you've already killed the Darkseer. He can TP in on respawn, but the fact Liquid made this big move expecting to like collapse on this bottom lane around the Darkseer, but Zai died before his teammates could get there, is pretty bad for them.
Oh, the avalanche hook sets up. Yang, he's not going to get Tombstone down, and Frisk snowballing deep. They'll just let the Undying fall, and Liquid retreat.
They TP'd in the Primal Beast, so they definitely want to defend this tower. They've got the Tombstone down with some little zombies slowing people. Maybe that would have been enough to kind of chase some heroes down, but they make the conservative call. They know XM not there. Does have a TP on the Death Prophet, but without Exorcism, they want to wait for that cooldown before they take another big fight.
Such good vision there from Vici. Sees into that ancient area of Team Liquid, and Senya will find it before it expires. And a lot of defensive ward coverage here. You can see the sentries and orbs all placed around the dire side of the map, kind of watching the river, making sure no one's coming in and angling towards the Slark when he's farming.
Yeah, this Slark is the kind of really, I mean, it's not full desperation mode just yet, but it does feel like on some sense like Matu's gonna have to get like and he's going for an early Mage Slayer again with the Falcon Blade. He's not able to afford kind of trying to farm up a Diffusal, I guess. And yeah, they need to buy as much time as possible for him to get some early farm. With the Iron Shell, he can fight pretty early on.
No smoke from Vici though. There's connections coming in to save the DP, but it looks like she's going to get blown up before they come. None of the heals, a Spirit Siphon. He survived with his 1 charges, and Insania, down he goes. McKay, they're trying to bail him out with a vacuum back from Zai, but he's being hounded by Frisk and BAB. Shards, they're good. Trapped inside the igloo, but he's still speedy with the phase and that surge going, but look at the onslaught. BAB's back in again. Insania, he's brought back to fight this. Matu wants to claim some and shift stacks, but look at how tanky Vici are. They cannot be brought down. Far too strong. BAB. Oh, they're tossing Insania in towards them, and Frisk does now as well. Liquid had enough in the tank.
It's coming at heavy cost though. Yang, it'd be a nice additional +1 kill. We've got to toss in, so they are looking for that final kill. Matu, death from above, but Yang gets out of there with XM's help. It's not really worth it in the end for Liquid. Maybe just like slightly. They get all this experience, so I guess from that perspective it's fine. But the buyback on the Snapfire, they lose both Darkseer and Pudge there, so not really the best of fights when you look around and you see that, you know, what's Jug been doing that entire time? Just farming away in bottom lane in the jungle.
Yeah, right. We saw the fight recap, and it's kind of, you know, yes, okay, 200 advantage in that gold swing for Liquid. Experience was kind of even, but the fact that Jug is building up net worth, you're absolutely right. You've got to add in that additional factor. But we do see the strength of Liquid with his Darkseer, right? He did a tremendous amount of damage just with the level 1 vacuum against these melee heroes. He can do a lot to impact these fights.
Yeah, he did a great job microing his wall illusion. He put an Iron Shell on one before he died, and even after he died, he was just doing all this Iron Shell damage. Later on, you're going to see Iron Shell on Pudge, on Slark. You got melee allies playing against melee heroes on the other side other than the Death Prophet, so there's a lot of damage output coming from the Darkseer plus Pudge or Darkseer plus Slark.
And now the map is getting a little small for Liquid. Frisk playing incredibly forward here with Yang into that ancient area, zoning them away. Giving a lot of space to Erica XM to actually just slip back into their own pockets of farm in the jungle, somewhere safe for them.
They've got that next exorcism ready to go, so the question's going to be, do they want to go for some kind of big smoke play? It does look like there's at least a couple of heroes hovering around the mid lane. XM's the guy you want to play around with this smoke, whether it's smoking to him or smoking with him, because you don't want to just get a kill or two. You want to try and take some more objectives.
Yeah, especially when you're rushing BKBs on two of your cores, Primal Beast and DP, both aiming for those early Magic Community items to keep fighting early on.
They see Matu. This is a tough kill.
Yeah, he's level 10. Shadow Dance at the ready. Silence. Yeah, I guess Dark packed it off. He tried there, right? It's like the last fraction of a second.
Yeah. I don't think those two heroes have the damage to kill Slark there. Even if they get like the perfect time on silence. He's got a Mage Slayer, so he's got magic resistance as well. I think that was just like with two heroes, that target was just not feasible.
It's going to piss him off, though. You know, they show and it's like, okay, I can't farm jungle anymore. Yeah. Matu's going to have to go back to top. While VG used this opportunity to go into Roche. Healing Ward, the Witchblade, tons of damage from this amplification out of the Flesh Golem, so quickly killing him off.
No exorcism needed, so they've still got the ability to push down another lane or use this Aegis to try and take some early objectives. Jug's a very good Aegis carrier, one of these great heroes that actually can kind of go for like some early high ground sieges because you've got the Blade Fury as well to kind of play around when you're pushing high ground, so a lot of pressure that Vici Gaming can put on Liquid now.
Well, Matu, he keeps showing his face on that medium camp, and there's always a Vici Gaming hero there. This time, Primal Beast zoning him away. And still finding farm where he can, though. 7,000 net worth on the Slark. As Pudge, Darkseer, both at the bottom of that chart in terms of core heroes, but still getting towards their key items. Ags on Pudge, and it looks like Zai going for the Blink Dagger. Have that teamfight turnaround potential on your Darkseer.
Yeah, Liquid need this Blink on Tiny. He's their kind of big team fight starter. You know, you can't rely on like a meat hook or something. You know, a toss in is a bit gimmicky. You don't necessarily just want to be tossing your Pudge in when there's like a Death Prophet and stuff on the other side. So getting some toss backs is going to be key for Liquid when it comes to starting fights.
I'm insane, yeah. They're scouted a little bit there, but interesting cookie out of the snowball as Boxy now arriving to save his captain. Tossing around Frisk, but he's got raindrops, wand, he's still got a lot of movement speed and the vision up to dodging the snowball back to Zai, dodging every glob of lava thrown by Mortimer as he comes BAB. They kill the Tusk, the Pulverize comes, and the Primal Beast aiming for Mickey, but this is a pretty split fight. They have to choose a target and stick on them. Zai gets Mickey out of there while Boxy Dung is on the left-hand side, and Liquid gonna be pretty okay with this. They get in, get out reasonably unscathed, while Vici, they spend Exo and a lot of time.
Yeah. They do come in and get this like double ancient stack and stuff, and it is an arcane rune exorcism, so at least it's going to be a pretty low cooldown. But Liquid is sticking around. They want to fight this one. Erica's not a good target with the Aegis, though.
Yeah, and he still has this Omni Slash to play with.
Yeah, I don't think you can take the fight. Not with a Jug Death Prophet in the front lines that you can't really get past the Exo. It does expire now, so there's at least a little bit of a window where you can try and take a fight here, but Jug's Aegis just makes him such a beast here. I mean, all your Omni Slash is going to shred through this Liquid lineup.
You make such a good point as well. It's like the entire Vici draft is a front line. How do you break past a front line of 5 heroes?
Yeah, it's like usually your team fight's like, okay, we're gonna jump the back line, kill the squishies. Wait a second. Which one is that?
Yeah. Good luck, Matu.
Yeah, Matu, usually Slark is like, let's just make these supports go like 0-10. There's like some Crystal Maid and you just keep on killing again and again, but I guess the good news is, you know, there are these tanky heroes you can build up essence ship, but he's going to need to build up a lot.
Yeah, going to need to extend those fights while the quick blower on Boxy's Tusk in the top lane as he was so close to blink.
Yeah, that's brutal for him. It's really what's been slowing Liquid down and preventing them from making any moves, is just not having that blink initiation. Much fighting going on that Boxy hasn't really had the time to farm it up, and Vici Gaming have done an amazing job just continuing to apply pressure, go wherever Liquid's trying to get these scraps of farm.
Yeah, not letting Liquid play their game at all. We've not really seen any smokes or initiative from Liquid. They are very focused on getting key items, but Mickey, here's a pick off the Vici Gaming will be incredibly happy to take. The snowball dodging the vacuum of the wall, and onto the pudge they go. Can we find a bonus kill? It looks like the surge and the pounces away will get Matu and Zai out of there. But a great snowball again from Frisk.
Yeah, he's so good. Definitely a player that people remember him from his old Vici Gaming days when he played under the name Fade. He had a sick tusk back then, and he's showing it once more. They're not done getting these kills. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, back to tier 2. This time, dragging Erica along for the ride.
This could be a quick one. We're all like talking about how good the Liquid draft is, but they're not going to get a chance to play their draft because of how much they're just getting run over.
Yeah, now you're staring down the barrel of double BKB. You know, we've seen Primal Beasts already come into play. DP has hers being delivered right now. These last outer towers, tier 2s, look like they're going to fall pretty quickly. A very, very oppressive move here from Vici to hold out every single lane. They're spread out across the map, but they have a pocket of 3 up top ready to fight.
Yeah, and just kind of very classic, strong, like Dota, like and like very kind of, you know, predictable. How do you actually counter this? They get the first Aegis, they take over the map, they get a gold lead, they're not going high ground. They're just looking to take fights, and they found another fight here in the mid lane.
Yeah, go straight in on snowball again. Trying to connect onto Mickey's Pudge, and the BKB's up from BAB. Finding the kill with Yang's final touch. Matu just going to kill off a zombie. Yep. Super irritating though with this Witchblade and Exo from the Death Prophet.
See if they can finish this tier 2 mid tower. Oh, the toss back in. Okay.
But XM has a BKB. Spirit Siphon, and the remaining seconds of the Ghosts allows XM to just stand up high ground under tier 3 without a care in the world. Oh, Tusk maybe though, found by Matu. There we go. Something going Liquid's way while top lane was being pushed by Erica. It looks like Vici gonna fall back to a high ground position and hold for a second.
Yeah, Erica just got that top tier 3 tower down to like half health. That's some pretty significant damage being dealt. The fight at mid was just kind of almost a distraction for the Jug to get some good building damage in, making sure they get, you know, so even if it's just support kills off the Exorcism there. I like what we see coming in. The Tusk, you know, he tried to kind of juke around the slack, play around the building and the trees, use the Tumbler's toy to... and then also tried to go for the ice shards to push himself down the cliff, which is very hard to do, and, you know, requires a bit of luck as well, so... Liquid on the move now.
His reaction there is like, oh, I nearly had it. It just a couple of pixels. I would be down to low.
They're smoked up though. They're invading the triangle.
Straight on the Boxy with a blink. Yang, he heals back up. The kiss is landing as they dismember Erica. But Boxy getting shredded by the DP and PAB. Oh, that damage from the beast. In he comes. Slay Liquid right outside that Roach pit. As Liquid were the aggressors and they get turned on quickly.
Yeah, they wanted to just make a quick move, feeling like nothing's going their way. They got the Blink Dagger up on the Tiny, and with Aegis down, they thought they could get this great jump, but Erica, quick reactions, gets the Blade Fury off, so the Dismember just, you know, there's no real follow-up damage or kill threat on him, and that's perhaps the one downside of this Liquid draft is how do you kill these heroes? Like, even, it takes too long for Slurk to build up damage in these fights, and you've got 3 cores that all are pretty low when it comes to actually damage output. They're, you know, very tanky and hard to kill, much like the Vici Gaming ones are. But Vici Gaming, you've got Mjolnir Omnislash, you've got Exorcism, not even in that fight, but you've got these heroes that actually dish out significant damage in an AoE. We've seen Primal Beast just demolish these team fights as well, so fight after fight going Vici's way.
It feels like Liquid need like 3 Reaper sides or something like they need 2 Necros on their team to handle these heroes. Super challenging, but you know, when it comes down to it, you know, the next 10 minutes very important for Vici to hold on to this lead and keep improving, because Liquid, they can scale, they can team fight back. They've got elements in their draft which will allow them to fight around high ground in particular.
Yeah, getting a shard on Matu's Slack, a bit of an interesting pickup there.
I think it makes sense when it's like you said, right? He wants to extend these fights, stacks up, and having Death Shroud just allows a few more seconds of being able to hit people.
Maybe help someone out who's getting pulverized or something.
Omni Slash, I guess it counts as Omni Slash, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. Against the Omni Slash, like, it's no longer just himself getting Shadow Dance, he'll be able to help out his entire team.
2 minutes left on that Roche spawner. Matu showing mid. yeah.
BAB was ready to follow that one up. He's got Yasha and Kaya now in his primal base. He's just dishing out all the damage,
Okay, so not the Matu
again.
The Kaya sound we've seen a lot of. Yasha Kaya for primal beast. Matu, spotted. He knows that he's under vision though, and very wisely pounces away.
Yeah. This is just kind of hunting season. Vici Gaming, they're hunting, looking for kills. They know they can't really go high ground against the tossback, the meat hook, and they're waiting for Roshan. They're just like, we want to find some fights. That was like back-to-back smokes looking for kills. But realistically, they're thinking, like, big picture-wise, Roshan, Aegis on Jug, free shard. That's when they can actually break high ground. Boxy.
What's he up to? Okay. TP in away?
TP out, yep, he's fine.
Very nice.
Bottom lane, meanwhile.
Pulverize on Insania. Find a catch on the snap. With Mage Slayer on the slug, does that... I guess the DP, it works against the Ghost, right? Because it's spell damage?
Yeah, it should. I guess unless they're like considered different units. I don't know exactly how it works.
Matu with a vacuum help from Zai, but it's Snowball again, keeping Yang alive. They're dying, he's fine. Healed back up by the healing ward. So much tankiness. And Matu is blocked up by the Undying. And the hook save, Mickey dragging Zai away from danger, but Matu still being chased down. Frisk and Erica here can't quite catch up to him, but BAB will. Pulverize down the slug, and he's dead for 50 seconds.
No, they're going to charge forward here. They may actually go high ground. So, forget the Roshan with Exorcism going, with Jug ready to push, with a Skadi to go with his Mjolnir. Got a lot of damage, but unfortunately Exorcism just not quite long enough duration to go for a full-on high ground play here. They back off. No Roshan quite yet. They're a bit more patient. 5 more seconds, I'll have it. And nothing Liquid can do to stop them getting this Aegis.
And there, Frisk sat in the pit. Scouts out the big man returning.
It's a tough game. I mean, we see this side, there's stuff that threatens to just instantly jump and kill him. Like the Blink Walrus Punch can set BAB to get up a good pulverize. BAB's going to have a Blink Dagger on his Primal Beast soon as well, so it's just not this free slot game for Matu, considering like the big farm discrepancy between the two teams.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Liquid, they are moving slowly towards the pit there, and they even get a scan towards it, but realizing it's already being killed off. Too late to really react. Swiftly down to bottom lane, connecting in with Mickey, just finding what farm they can. And shoving out this bottom wave with the catapult's going to help do a bit more damage to tier 2. Don't think they'll be able to get it. But you're going to force Vici to react and try and maintain these lanes at the very least.
Well, they're hunting down bottom. They see someone try and pressure, and Frisk is wondering what he can get out of this, but can't quite catch up to the Tiny.
Tower is under attack.
And the TP top from XM. So really just keeping all the lanes pushed out to put Vici Gaming in a better position to think about this tier 2 bot or even the high ground. Or a team fight, which Liquid might be looking to give them. Erica shows on bot wave, a quick dismember. They've got stuns for days here, and the Juggernaut, first life is down. Mickey hooking into the trees. Not sure what he was aiming for, going for a fishing expedition, but Erica's going to try spin and get away. Yang throws the tombstone down, and in comes BAB. Pulverizing back into the slog, and Matu just clear through so quickly. Well, Mickey, he can't do anything. The wall illusions are irritating, but it's just nowhere near enough damage.
Yep, and they're doing this all without the Death Prophet. Back in the top lane, TPing up there, so 4v5. That's just the strength of Vici Gaming. I mean, that goes fine for Liquid if the farm between these two teams is a bit more even.
1 second,
yeah. Going on an Aegis Jug, just there's no way you can kill him a second time. You've already committed the dismember. They're diving deep. They put him in the tier 4s, but BAB just can't quite catch up to him.
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess it's...
kisses. Ooh, insane. I thought he had maybe a kill there, but that's a 2-minute cooldown now.
Suppressing fire. Keep their heads down.
Dire's bottom tower
I guess
is under
it makes
attack.
sense in some regards for Liquid to take that fight just to take the Aegis, because if Vici gets a high ground with it, then it's an impossibility, right?
Yeah, I think the
Dire's
idea of
middle
take the
tower
Aegis
is
and
under
get
attack.
the hell out of there, but they kind of stuck around. They dropped the wall as if they wanted to kill him a second time. Maybe they thought the rest of Vici Gaming was in the top lane because they saw that they knew Death Prop was top. So the reasoning is, you know, it's pretty sound from Liquid. Like, okay, they know Death Prop's not there. Maybe these other heroes are not down bottom as well, and Jug's just solo farming a lane.
Hello.
Now this could work.
This might work, but BAB and Frisk, they're back into the saves, and they're both very tanky still, but a damage! Oh
Shredded.
god! Liquid, they find the kills!
Yeah, they get the Jug out of there, but he can't re-engage the Blade Fury on cooldown, as was the Omni Slash, and they're not done.
Sam, McKay being turned on by the DP. She puts her BKB, gets a good start in as well, but Erica spins forward and shreds into the punch. There's the takedown, back onto him. Liquid, they're surging Matu forward. They're trying to find another way in, but the high ground's held by a tombstone.
Not too strong, but without the Shadow Dance or Depth Shroud, he doesn't really want to engage there.
Who did all that damage? Hudge did close to 4,000 damage in that fight.
He was just like on top of 2 heroes doing some crazy rot damage, it looked like.
It felt like we had one of those GPK tiny, you know, tree volleys coming in with Daedalus, Chris.
It was like, it was just like, okay, our Jug's been caught, we gotta run in, and then they just grouped up for this Pudge to just get a Dismember rot, like full damage out onto 2 heroes there, so. Not over yet. Liquid still have some fight left in them. They're down 18k gold, so they've weathered the second Aegis, at least for now.
More time, more space, but Clark up the top. Matu, is he going to get out of this? No, he was
Just got
silenced long
silenced.
enough.
Yeah, XM just sneaking in from the trees and got a full 6-second silence on, and he couldn't do a thing about it.
I mean, there's no saves from the rest of his team either. No way to dispel that. It's going to come down to him needing BKB.
Getting him up on him.
Juggernaut. That's just a solo kill. The Omni Slash, it's enough damage.
Yeah.
Skadi, Mjolnir, and a basher for Erica.
This Jug is a complete beast at this point. He's gonna rejoin the rest of his team, keeping to the outpost, and they're going high ground. No Slack, no Pudge. That's
Radiant's bottom tower
most of
is
the
under
net worth of
attack.
Team Liquid just
Dire's
gone here.
middle tower is
Slug
under
does have
attack.
a buyback, but even just forcing this buyback would be really advantageous for Vici Gaming.
Momental victory for them.
Dire's top tower
It's
has
15
fallen.
seconds away from respawning naturally, and
Dire's top barracks
Vici
are
Gaming,
under
2 lanes
attack.
pushed in with catapults on both sides.
bottom tower
Means mid
is under attack.
lane is pushing in with just creeps and top
Dire's top barracks
by the
has
remaining
fallen.
heroes of Vici to claim that first
Dire's
lane of
top
barracks.
has fallen.
Liquid not entertaining a team fight, just waiting for everyone to respawn.
Such a tough situation to be in for Liquid here. They're going to be kind of bottled up in their base, but in a couple minutes time they're going to feel pressured to smoke on out, stop Vici Gaming getting Roche number 3, you know, potential Ags or Refresher coming into play when you've got a Death Prophet with double Exorcism, or free Ags on, you know, someone like a Juggernaut. It's just really tough to play into that.
Hey, even Ags on Tusk, right? Being able to kick someone, isolate them, get the kill with the Omni Slash on Boxy. He's found. They get the vision on him. They'll send the Primal Beast skywards, toss back the Tusk, but his life is forfeit in that bottom lane. Well, in that mid lane, what's happening over there? A catch on Erica with the wall dropped on him. Wraith packed out as well from Zai, but they've got the Walrus Punch to cancel his TP and take down the Darkseer, while snowballing at the same time onto Mickey. Frisk is everywhere and nowhere, just jumping targets left and right.
Then I tried.
Xenia gets to the high ground, but SM's going to haste through it.
What's
And
that range? From 1,000 range away.
the headband, yeah. Just pulls them in. This could just be it here. They're going to get a second. They can't get Megas. They probably can't throne them here, but it feels like the game is at that point where it's like, what can Liquid actually do to come back? And
Has fallen.
I don't think there's much of an answer to that question.
What is the percentage now? What does Delta Plus tell us?
One. They've got one.
no.
They've got a solid 1% to go.
So you're telling me, for Team Liquid, there is still a chance.
A chance. I think it is just like it is a 1 in, not 100. It's a 1 in 1,000 here because Vici Gaming can kind of sit back, reset, take next Roshan, and as far as how these drafts scale, Liquid drafts could scale okay into the late game if Slark was like, up there and on par with the Juggernaut farm, not to mention he needs like his teammates to also be getting those kind of key late game items as well, but that's just not happening.
Every time I click on Undying, he's got a new saving tool or healing mechanism. Like he's got Mech, Holy Locket, Full Staff, Glimmer. He's incredibly rich. 10,000 net worth. Thank you, Philosopher's Stone.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Great
attack.
support players, dream item. Well, smoking up his Vici Gaming. Does look like Liquid are at least setting up to kind of play around this bottom tier 2 tower. They've got the tower plus the ward on the hill, so a lot of good vision around this bottom side of the map, something Vici Gaming don't have. And I like the fact that they're just kind of ignoring that bottom tier 2 tower. Roshan is going to be far more important than getting this last tower. Mega creeps, you can get those later. Right now, the important thing is making sure this next team fight goes well and that Liquid don't get some sick kind of like 5-man vacuum wall with punch follow-up to completely eat you alive.
And you can see Liquid trying to prep for a fight outside of their base. They don't want to let Vici Gaming break up the ramp.
They've been found.
The read.
Yeah. I mean, it's that cliff there with a nice little ward spot. It's just something that Vici Gaming don't want to go near. And now that you know you're there, you just say, why bother? Why go there? Like, there's no strategic point at this time to go play around that dire vision. Just keep pushing out both top and mid. The bottom creep wave is not threatening you at all. Eventually it might get to this bottom tier 2 tower, but even letting that tier 2 tower bottom go is totally fine here.
Yeah, if you control Roshan, who's going to be up in a minute 40, that's all according to plan for Vici. Zai goes in. They will find Frisk here with a pounce from Matu. He drops the Death Pact, Dark Pact. They're getting away, but the turnaround onto Zai. Kills up the Dark Seer as Erica slays Boxy with a spin. And Matuma Man, well, he's trying. He's leashing and pouncing, picking it up, trying to battle into the tusk with a dismember there. They'll finally kill him off, but that's all you'll get. Liquid kill once to the board hero.
Oh, he's bashed.
Double buyback and he's bashed him now. Matu with a long-range pounce, but the creeps will kill him, finishing him off as he tried to escape. And Insania hounded under his tier 4 towers, glimmered up, but BAB, oh, he's going to give up on that. Let the Snapfire escape for now.
He tried to guess where he was with the trample a bit there, but couldn't quite lock on. And tier 4 towers now. This is why, this bottom side of the map just doesn't matter. You win a team fight, you can go for tier 4s, you can go for the throne. Maybe Liquid repel you after getting these tier 4s, but there's always going to be a Roshan to fall back to as well. And yeah, with Exorcism wearing off, they say, well, let's not risk it. We don't need to go for these tier 4s. Punch just pulled back. Slark, okay, they're going to force a fight on the Liquid side.
Yeah, I mean, Boxy's in and Boxy's down.
Yeah, that's
as quick as that.
Even they get another kill. Like, Punch buys back and they kill the Tiny, but they're still not forcing it. They just want to fight around, their strong cooldowns. They want to fight around the Exorcism. They want to fight around a Roshan now, having free Aegis, Cheese, and more. Like, this is a gold lead that's just getting bigger and bigger. And Vici Gaming, you can really see what's at stake with this game by the way they're just not taking any chances.
Yeah, very, very deliberate play. And Roshan respawning. What's he got? Any goodies?
Yes, Roshan is going to be a refresher shot, so double Exorcism,
it looks like.
Very likely going to be the hero that ends up with it.
Double Exo, double BKB for the DP. Probably the go-to there for Vici Gaming.
Insane. What's he doing here?
Well.
Smoke behind. Are they doing this to contest Roshan or go for a steal? He's in deep. This was a solo smoke just to get this ward down. And what's the plan here? None of his teammates are in the neighborhood.
They don't have their own
He's going to force stop. It's got double vision around the Roshan, but Roshan's already dead, so it's the right idea, but really, Roshan's just already fallen. If it was like a longer, it was already close to max respawn, so I don't think a longer respawn was really going to be something that happened regardless. And these wards are not going to help Liquid find a good fight because the fight's coming to their base.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, that's nice.
the takedown on Boxy. Vici Gaming just keeping going on forward. I think we've lost the connection between myself and Gods. So it might just be me on my own. Hopefully everyone can hear what's going on here. As Liquid looking to try and mount one final defense of their base. Vici all ready for themselves. Oh, this probably works. Right, can you hear me?
Yep, I'm back.
Very good. Hopefully this is good. One last chance for Liquid, right?
Yeah, this
No
is...
buybacks.
They need the tiny, they need the toss backs, but Matu can't afford to go down the front line. Erica with butterfly ages, he's just such a beast on this jug.
There's the back wall though. Zai punched into the sky, and now pulverized, sent down 6 feet under. Matu trying to kill off the brimstone. Sam and BAB, they've gone in deep, looking for Mickey's purge. That's it now for Liquid. Not a chance in hell. They'll get a toss back on Erica, but he's so incredibly strong. The Juggernaut can't be taken down, and GG is called. Erica on this jug, 10-0-12, untouched, unkillable. And absolutely beautiful stuff from Vici Gaming.
Yeah, there were a lot of doubters about, after the drop came out and Liquid had this, what looked to be this 6 Slark pick, but Vici Gaming just had the answer. They didn't.
With our shields and our swords, we pave the path to victory. With our shields and our swords, we temper our courage. With our shields and our swords, we're making history. With those who make the game a reality, we're the Vanguard. We're with the best. Let's raise our shields.
We are back with our lower bracket series, our second series of the day. It is Liquid up against VG. And VG taking game number one. We're going to do our best to quickly break down that game one, as I do know game two draft is very much going to be jumping underway soon. So, Kezu, for you, it wasn't essentially a back and forth game like we might be used to when we see VG and Liquid playing. It felt very much on the side of VG through and through.
Yeah, I mean, there was absolutely no back and forth. Basically, from start to finish, it was all VG, the tempo. They won every lane, they went mid together, took the tower, applied pressure, then they went top, killed them there, back to mid, back to bottom, and basically hints repeat for the whole game, and they played incredibly well.
That's it, summed up in one sentence, and I think something that was a key contributor to that was VG being able to get that Primal Beast fear, and here in Game 2 draft, we see it again.
Yeah, I mean, when you did ask me the percentage and the team, I didn't say it was 80%, 88% win. I just want to make that clear. It was just an 80%.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
But
you didn't say 100%. That's the difference maker.
All right, there we go. I've been waiting all day for this.
Yeah, you
Finally,
asked
some
why it
Venom
was
answer.
banned.
It finally got through. You know, they realized if they waited for the second phase, it's not going to make it. So they're going to take it right now, make sure they get it into the game, and we're going to have ourselves a Venomancer Clockwork, a little bit of a change up here. And what do you know? Primal Beast and Morph got on the same team. Two of the heroes which I personally feel like just should be first phase banned. Two of the best heroes in Dota are on the same team. I'm feeling nervous if you're a Liquid fan right now, because this opening looks super scary. And hopefully I'm cursing them and we can get a game 3 here, but Primal Beast Morph, yikes.
Do you guys remember a game yesterday where we had the exact same opening? It was actually Team Secret when they played against T1, where I feel like they kind of baited T1 to pick this Clock Veno after they had first picked Primal Beast, and then they closed the phase out with Morphling. So we have the exact same 4 opening picks. And I think this is already a very good Morphling game. We know how good the hero is. They're banning the proper heroes for it, and they have Primal Beast. So in order for Liquid, they need to make sure that their follow-up picks will deal with these heroes, give them good lanes. Because at least on the contrary to the last game, let's just make sure that they get out of the laning stage and that they get to play Dota in this game.
I mean, you talk about the fact that this opening is very similar to that T1 Secret game. Yeah, T1 didn't win with the Clock Venom either, so I think there's a little bit more fuel to the fire there, Fear, for your worries. But T-Panda, what needs to happen, ban or pick-wise, to hit what Kezu was talking about?
I mean, if there's something Liquid can do better from that last game, utilizing from that laning stage into a real killing spree, because that was the 4th game where Liquid has less than 10 kills during the course of this tournament. So there's quite a few games where they haven't been able to achieve from that post-laning stage. That was basically what hindered their capability to reach critical mass in terms of the damage output to provide more scaling. So there was like an idea with the draft that we really liked about, okay, this Pudge is pretty nice, but he never got to that timing where he actually is a big threat. So in terms of Liquid's drafting, already having Clockwork, which is a pretty all-rounded solid hero currently, at least in this tournament meta, I'd like something that pairs up with this Clockwork in terms of either solo pickoff, maybe a bit of teamfight add for it. I'm not going to throw any specific heroes yet until we see that second phase where it really clicks, but I'd like a pair up with this Clockwork.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a pair up. I think there's a high chance that they might pick something like an Insania. God damn it.
You're
was gonna go to-
together.
I mean, to
That's
be fair,
why.
my first option was gonna be Witch Doctor. So,
Oh.
but I think the Disruptor was like a backup. I think it's also good. The laning stage is maybe a little weird against Primal Beast. I guess the kinetic field can be okay. I think you stop some of the, I think you stop the Q and the trample, of course, if it gets built up in time. It's okay against the Morphling. Later you have like the Glimpse Catch and so on. So this is just gonna be a Zai Venomancer, which it has worked for them. He's gonna build a vessel, try to help his team this way. And I think these into coming picks for Vici are very important, and it's most likely just going to be their support duo.
Vici Gaming's turn to pick. Team Liquid's turn to pick.
We had the kind of baited T1 to pick this clock.
awkward.
Now, something like an Insania. Yeah.
They've won every single game, which is there's just 5 wins, maybe has 3, and it applies as well for the final drafting stage as well. But for Liquid, still got some options.
5
Sniper,
seconds remaining.
interesting pickup here.
Yeah, I mean, they banned it last game, so they clearly do know just how impactful this hero can be, Kezu.
Yeah, so Sniper is a good pick, but there's definitely some options that VG have. I think Primal Beast Sniper matchup can very likely go both ways. I think early on this is something that Sniper does not like at all. You hate heroes to get on top of you. But as the game progresses, if you do get net worth and you don't that's why you see Liquid also ban the Storm.
10 seconds
I thought it could have been a good option for them. We also see VG themselves ban
5
Bad
seconds
Rider,
remaining.
which makes me slightly believe that there's a chance that they put this Primal Beast also into the mid lane and perhaps pick a new like Broodmother before on VG. I don't have their drafts open right now, but that is also a very annoying hero for the current Liquid heroes to deal with.
BAB, his hero pulls so far Mars, Visage, Primal Beast, Lycan, Enigma, Night Stalker, Timbersaw, and Viper. Highlighted the Night Stalker there a little bit because that hero is quite good versus the Sniper, if they do want to do that.
So it could potentially be then banned out here. Liquid will take their time thinking about what they don't want to let through. Because out of the ones that did this though, outside of the Night Stalker, anything else that really sticks out for you? Do you think that they might be pulling out something new?
Turn to pick.
I was kind of looking if there's mid heroes that give you the thing that Storm does, but I feel like achieving the jump from mid is not that easily, which to me makes it feel like you just put the Primal mid because he's gonna do well there. Then he can also gank the Sniper early on, and now you pick this new offlane hero. This Night Stalker can be good, the lane should be okay. Never mind. I totally forgot about this hero. XM also popped off on Voice Bird yesterday. I mean, we want a mid hero that goes around and jumps them, right? There you go. This is a Voice Bird.
Yeah, they just wanted that type of hero, right? Whatever role they decided to put the Primal Beast, you know, they got it. Could have been a Night Stalker, but why not? I think the Primal Beast is just way too good. I talked about it versus the Luna. Not having it disengage, not having it slow, makes it very easy to get trampled on, and they don't have much here. Like, they got the glimpse, but I'm very afraid for these carry heroes that cannot be self-sufficient when their support leaves, because at some point your disruptor is gonna have to leave. He's gonna have to check a rune, he's gotta do something, and that's when you're kind of just food as a sniper.
The other thing to note as well, as Liquid are doing their last pick, is that we have seen in the past, at least for last chance qualifiers, Matu on the sniper and taking it mid and then pushing Mickey to the safe lane. So that's something that they could do. Maybe looking to pick up a Mickey hero for safe lane instead if they wanted.
I mean, originally, this sounds weird putting it in a historic thing, considering Liquid might be dropping out of the qualifier with the next loss. Matu back in like 2014, 2015, he used to be a very good mid player, and he slowly transitioned into playing the carry role. So like his origins come from mid, so I wouldn't be too surprised if they would actually swap it around for a game like this. I mean, some magic to this. This is the 100th game of this qualifier, so. Who knows?
It is. Yeah.
I'm looking at Liquid. I feel like they want another answer to this Voice Bird. Maybe it's not easy, but something like a Dragon Knight that gives you another jump. It's not the easiest game. There's a lot of magic damage. But currently, I'm not sure about the sniper mid option. I don't see too many nice carries. They're really running out of reserve time. So they're going for the Lesh.
I actually like that. I was thinking, like, that's the hero that's going for Voice Spirit. Just kind of like some YOLO get in there. I don't think it's enough for me to say Liquid has a better draft here, unfortunately, because I think Morph matches up very well against the Flash Track throughout the entirety of the game. But it gives that a little bit of chaos to the draft. You know, now they have, if they can snowball the game, the Slash Track can get farmed, and they can fight really early and snowball super hard, actually. Slash Track pick.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. Mickey is going to be on that Lesh as well. Marchi picking up the sniper for himself. Kezu, it's a question that I've always asked you, but how are these laning phases going to work out? Is it going to be a rendition of Game 1 where it's very VG favored?
10 seconds.
I hope not. It shouldn't be. I think the bottom lane will be somewhat even. Morph will farm, Venom will farm. I think the two lanes we need to pay attention to is the Primal Beast versus Sniper. If this guy pops off, I think this game is going to not look very good for Liquid, but I'm putting my eggs here into Mickey's basket. I think he's going to pop off on the Lesh against the Voice Bird mid. He's going to do well, and then I hope that his team is going to help him out, and then they go from there.
Alright, so we know what Liquid have to do, but Team Panda, are you Liquid or VG favored here?
It's hard to go up against VG Gaming with a 100% Morphling, a 100% Void. I mean, you trust numbers, you go one way. If you trust your heart, you go the other direction. But hey, the brain and the heart don't always function together. So I'm gonna go with VG Gaming with this one. As much as it hurts, I hope I jinx Liquid maybe in this case. I don't know. Who knows?
I think if you ask for it, it doesn't work. But speaking of numbers, Spear, 88 was your number last time. What is it this time?
1% this time.
Just the percentage, not gonna tell me the team.
1%.
Just 1%, and with that, it's game 2. We could be seeing Liquid going home after this one, but it's Gareth and Gods that are going to be taking us through it.
That game 2 ready and waiting for us as comfort again for VG Gaming with that Morphling Primal Beast, but Liquid, Senior has previously stated there's no morality or ethics in drafting, and they show this with Venom Answer and Sniper Gods.
Yeah, it's about as filthy as it gets, but it did come at a cost, giving Erica his Morphling and BAB Primal Beast, like it's a scary proposition to go up against these heroes. I do think they did a good job forcing Frisk onto a hero in the Earthshaker that, yeah, he's played a lot of, but Earthshaker's been terrible. Even in his hands, he's got a 27% win rate on this hero. So you can look at some of these other heroes that had tremendous success on, but Shaker has not looked good, and you're playing Shaker into Veno plus Clockwork. That's rough.
Plus Sniper and Disruptor as well, right? You've got so many vision givers and damage over time to cancel blinks. It could be a challenge for him. We'll watch out for Frisk's positioning. as he gets his Blink Dagger a little later into the game. And looks like for now, Liquid smoking down into bottom jungle, and trying to play under a bit of vision there, as Matu is going to take down a ward very early on.
Yeah, we'll see if there's going to be any kind of lane shenanigans going on. I think, at least as far as the mid lane goes, it's pretty established. It does seem like, well, I say that, it does look like, yeah, I guess the one big switch up is going to be that Matu going mid on the sniper. So I guess as expected, it's Matu on sniper and Mickey on Leshrac, but I would have expected Leshrac against the Void Spirit. I feel like that's a pretty good matchup for the Leshrac, but I think Liquid feel like this is better for dealing with the Primal Beast, because both Sniper and Lesh do fine mid, but the big difference is Sniper playing into the Onslaught plus Trample could have a rough time up top.
Yeah, then you've got a great amount of damage up top with that Lesh and Disruptor, but currently, Insania's Disruptor is down here holding hands with Boxy, forcing Yang to be held back and also forcing a TP from Erica.
Okay. Hey, that's 100 gold. I mean, from a carry player. I guess he's, generally not going to need that TP for many other purposes, which is why he doesn't mind using it, but it is a decent chunk.
Yeah, nice cask from Yang, making sure he wouldn't die there. Would have been a difficult task anyway. And it actually looks like Disruptor's going to be staying bottom, so Veno Disruptor down there, while Clockwork, he goes up top. A good two-man stun comes out of Mickey, chipping away at Frisk and BAB. So a good bit of harassment coming out of that Liquid top lane.
This is a pretty strong top lane. I think putting the Clockwork with the Leshrac gives Lesh a lot of setup to play around, and just gives Mickey this kind of kill lane. And you're playing Clockwork against double melee, particularly against the Shaker. Clockwork's gonna be great. Against Primal Beast, you're gonna be a little bit careful on, his spells kind of invite you in and almost want to be playing against melee heroes, as we saw last game with the Slack. But it should be a pretty, at least, fight skirmish heavy top lane, I would say.
I'm going to run back on Boxy there. I'm just keeping my eyes on this mid lane though. Every time I look in, it's XM running away. And he's got some decent last hits, and he's going to have his bottle coming out now. He's had to expend a lot of his HP and resources early to get there though. No, it doesn't really get any easier when Wraith Bands arrive for Matu.
No. The lanes against Sniper, unless your hero ramps up as well, generally, they settle fine first 2 or 3 levels, but as these Wraith Bands add up, suddenly lasting can become quite a challenge. Yeah, he's dead here.
Deny?
Gets deny, okay.
Very nicely done by Erica.
Yeah. He's getting pretty low himself. He's going to have to morph strength here and be a little bit careful, but if he can get up a fast Vessel this game, that's going to be huge for Team Liquid.
Yeah, what's the skill build going to be from Zai this game? Is it more of the magic damage, or do we see Plague Wards?
I feel like you maybe get like a 2-2 build and then max Plague Wards, but max Plague Wards is just so good. It's just a matter of how many points in the other skills you get first. He may feel like he wants level 3 Plague Wards by level 5 and just go 1-1-3, so I'm not sure. Right now I think their lane is doing well enough that it does merit getting additional points in his first 2 skills.
Yeah, keep that pressure on, especially against the Morphling in these early levels. Pre-level 3, you've just got that 1 point in the attribute shift, which isn't quite reliable. And Witch Doctor's also going to be wary of his positioning.
Matu Sniper is showing up this game, though. Voice Break, getting some CS, but 19-5. 3 minutes in, he's probably only missed like a couple of CS along the way so far.
Yeah, he's got a 3rd Wraither coming out on the Courier as well.
Yep.
He's really looking for this early laning stage progression on the Sniper. There's XM. They're going to go back into the stick, the phase boots after this bottle. He's more likely going to be looking for those side lane rotations once he gets an active rune or hits level 7. As top, Boxy with Mickey there, doing a lot of damage onto Frisk, but BAB onslaughts and tramples into the clock. Oh, back and forth there, actually letting Boxy slip away because of Mickey's attempted stun.
Ooh, yeah, both sides very close to getting some kills there. First on the Shaker and then on the Clockwork. Definitely see the strength of the Primal Beast once again rearing its face in game number 2, and definitely expecting to see some more aggression fighting in this top lane, although it is pushing towards this Radiant Tower, so right now I imagine Boxy going to be prioritizing some of these pulls.
Yeah, he's got a Ghost Camp, nice little one to single pull, maybe do a half pull off of. Grab that creep wave with the flag bearer creep. Yeah, Matu again just chipping away at XM. He's already Already hit level 5 on this sniper. A little way to go for XM's Void Spirit. His deny is really starting to add up.
Triple Wraith Band, you know, there's always, often it's like 1 or 2 Wraith, but Matu really going all in on making himself as hard to last hit against as possible in this mid lane, giving him tons of deny potential. Even that little bit of extra strength is going to make him that bit harder to kill and gank as well.
Oh, Glimpse. What's it saying you're up to? Sending someone backwards? Just going for the control of the small camp.
Radiant's middle tower is
Making sure
under
they,
attack.
I guess, keep that one blocked, although it has spawned, so.
And Matsu, he got into position knowing that XM went for bouncy runes to actually close him off. But Yang, down at bot, he got the Maledict onto Insania. Not enough damage to kill Disruptor, and he's in fact going to be the one to die as first blood is claimed by Insania.
Yeah. At least it's before the urn comes out, so you're not feeding away those charges quite yet, but that's a really good start for this bottom lane for Team Liquid. This time around, it's Liquid having that big laning stage advantage.
He's trapped in the cogs, trying to trample around. He did a decent job pushing damage onto Boxy, but an irritating pest, this Clockwork. Onslaughted upon by BAB. Mickey has him covered, though.
Yeah, done a much better job just not giving BAB this dual lane where he can just go for all these kills. The Earthshaker just a much weaker lane partner compared to the Tusk, and they're gonna get the kill on Frisk there. He sticks around a bit too long, and Clockwork, whenever you get on top of this Shaker, if you've got any kind of follow-up, it just feels so good. And they've got Arcane Boots now, so this top lane is gonna just keep going for these kills, it feels like, on the Liquid side.
Ah, the good old school counter of Clock against Earthshaker. Battery Assault, incredibly irritating.
Yeah.
It looks like we're going to get a rotation to mid, though, as Matsu, he feels this coming. He has this ward covered down towards the bottom rune spot. As Yang, from the right-hand side, Maledict in onto him. Ability for them to Fissure, but it's so scary diving this tier 1 against the sniper.
Yeah, he's got raindrops, 900 health, and this is, like, if he has just the one Wraith Band here and Fist and Trance or something, the 900 health with raindrops is just too much survivability.
Radiant's
Yeah, now
structures
Liquid,
are fortified.
knowing that a couple of these heroes have left their side lanes,
Dire's middle tower
maybe
is
trying to
under
move in
attack.
onto the Primal Beast top. BAB gets stunned up initially by the Split Earth, trapped in the cogs. Is he going to try and get away from this with a little push back, a bit of distance, and the cast from Yang? It does allow him to slip away.
It barely keeps them alive, but they're keeping away from the lane and the farm. Leshrac with a decent lead over the Primal Beast, and all 3 lanes effectively being won by Team Liquid right now. Morphling is getting some good farm. That's kind of going to be the big X factor this game, is going to be Erica's Morphling, who is yet to lose a game on this hero.
Having size, incredibly toxic. 3 points in the Poison Sting, so it looks like 1-3 and then back into Plague Wars, I assume.
Yep.
I'd love to get that kill, like you're mentioning, to get some urn charges and get Erica out of that lane. While in mid again, XM is hasted and running around, but there's so much ward coverage here from Liquid. It needs to be removed, and that's what Frisk is attempting. Up towards top, Boxy getting trampled down. And Maledict, with that Primal Beast damage, offers enough, but the turnaround from Mickey gets him the cross kill on the Beast. Now the rest of Liquid looking to try and make a meal out of this, but Vici Gaming have the numbers advantage. Bringing down Insania while Mickey chases Yang. He tries to deny himself to neutrals. He's aggro them, but it won't work out. A double for Leshrac. And 3 kills traded for 2.
Yeah, even Matu rotated in to finish off the Shaker, so Liquid gonna feel pretty damn good about that one. Both Leshrac and Sniper there,
Radiant's
1 and 2
courier has
position,
been killed.
getting kills and not the ones getting pressured, so it's not really big kills that Vici Gaming are finding there. It's a pretty costly rotation in the end for them.
Man, your Morphling not really hitting creeps right now. Has to dip under his tier 1, heal up with a salve and a Fairy Fire, just to be able to withstand the pressure that Zai's bringing.
Yeah.
Taking him out, it's time to kill him. Please remove the Venomancer from my lane.
He sees him coming though. He's, you know, even just the 1 or now 2 points in Plague Wars is enough to get some good intel, although he's maybe stuck around a bit too long because Frisk has flanked him from behind here.
Comes up the river. Erica turns into the Veno. Gale into Gale. I've got a bit of stuns here onto Zai. The cask, the Maledict. It doesn't land, but they've got the jump forward from the Morphling. Finish him off at long last. Yeah.
good, honestly, like a very small thing, but Frisk just taking a different route for the gang. Yang gets scouted out in the trees with the Plague Wards, but Frisk goes through the river and catches Zai by surprise. But top lane, attempted kind of counterplay here. XM is kind of baiting this one because XM's here.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage onto Mickey, and BAB trying to onslaught, but caught out by the battery assault, killed off by Boxy and Mickey there. It's a good attempt at a turnaround from Vici Gaming, but this Clockwork is just such a nuisance. Against Earthshaker, against Primal Beast, he's like the counter.
Action's not done as they'll get another kill down bottom, but yeah, it's kind of like a bait play from Vici Gaming where they just don't have enough damage there. Like Leshrac with raindrops as well, and Void Spirit was only level 7 when he went for that play. He's hit level 8 now, but just having the maxed out Resonant Pulse and 1 point in the other 2 spells just meant he didn't quite have the damage to get the kill.
Let's see where he heads next. As Liquid, they've got the assassinate onto Frisk. And no stick, no raindrops for him. And a DD rune for Sniper now. Can they start chipping away at towers? It looks like he's going to start wandering bottom. Shot. Can they chain stun him and do the damage they need? He gets off the attribute shift. Erica, 2 seconds for waveform. Gets glimpsed across by Insania. Trying to create a gap here, but they've got the close in from Boxy to keep on chasing. Matsu on a killing spree. Perfection from the sniper in that mid lane.
Yeah, you rotate, you kill the enemy carry, and this bottom tier 1 tower is waiting to be claimed as well with a DD sniper and a siege creep. There is no defending this one. And Benno now starting to level up and max out those Plague Wards is going to be a real pushing threat as well. Nobody really ever wants to come to a Benno lane when there's level 4 Plague Wards. This is not worth killing them. They will lose Clockwork top, it looks like, so the counterplay from Vici Gaming is going to be going for a support kill and a tower of their own, so they do get a pretty decent response considering the situation they're in.
Yeah, getting something on the map feels good for them. A little morale boost. They are losing out quite a lot across all these lanes. And now the laning phase is breaking down and we're starting to get supports with ultimates up. It's incredibly scary when Clockwork and Disruptor are off map. If they're hidden, you're always afraid as Vici.
Yeah. There's a lot of kill threat coming out from this Liquid side. Disruptor's also level 6, so yeah, between Hookshot and Glimpse, it's kind of scary phase of this game for really anyone. As you can see, even when you get that morph off, like, this morph can be chased down and you can't just reliably waveform away when there's a Glimpse to kind of pull you back as well. The damage easily there.
Stuck in the bog of shrapnel and cogs.
Yep.
Very irritating, but the haste rune guarded by Boxy. Mickey will grab it. Trying to chase him. There's a static storm. He went in for it and dies. Another huge kill for Liquid.
Yeah, I guess he just knew he couldn't really astral step away when there's a glimpse waiting for him, so he kind of accepts his fate going for the rune, and that's a big kill.
Now Vici kind of in a waiting pattern, a holding pattern. They need Blink on Earthshaker, that's miles away. Morphling needs to finish off his primary items. And when this map gets smaller and smaller, you have even further limited places to farm on heroes that desperately need items.
Yeah, they just can't defend any of these towers. They are going to TP him.
And glyph it up.
BAB, no, he cancels his TP. He's going for a kill up top.
That's a decent Fisher, trying to attempt to kill on Mickey, but he's out of there. The Echo Slam on Sniper mid though. Matsu being focused down by XM and Frisk, but Matsu, surprisingly tanky with the raindrops and the Wraith Bands, will finally die. Vici Gaming pummel him into the ground while Zai tanks a full Death Ward Maledict. Raindrops are there to buy a bit of time for him while they glimpse across XM. Still tanked up by that Gale and gets away with the help of this Voodoo Restoration and more importantly the Fisher from Frisk.
Yeah, good job keeping XM alive there. He's the player who really needs to be the one bringing Vici Gaming back into this game, creating space for the Morphling to farm, and the fact that Vici Gaming were, making these aggressive moves up top. Position there, and they're still playing from behind. They've still lost his tier 1 mid, but a farmed up Morphling can easily turn this game.
I could give him as much room as he possibly can. And that Void Spirit got himself about 400 gold from that fight, so closing in on his Witchblade, which does give him so much more damage and the ability to get on top of the Sniper, which is his role, right? They pick this Void Spirit as an answer to the Matsu Sniper.
Yeah. They've got even Morphling as well as a hero that, with Waveform can do a pretty decent job later on at getting on top of the Sniper, so there's a lot of pressure on Liquid to kind of protect a sniper who doesn't really have the best bodies to play around. Like the other sniper picks we've seen, usually it's with all these other tanky cores that can frontline. Leshrac does pretty good at that, considering, you know, the Bloodstone, 2,000 health and all that, but neither, like, the offlaner, the Veno, the Disruptor, these are not like the best frontlining heroes for us to really set up a sniper.
Who was it? Was it no one on the Lesh, wasn't it? Where he went for this kind of Bloodstone tanky build, tanking black holes and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe we see a similar thing from Mickey here with like Yules, Kaya Sanj. Just charge in with Boxy. Make a bit of a barrier for that sniper.
Absolutely. It's going to be his job. Like, he wants to be the one taking spells. It's okay if he dies and the sniper's sitting back being ignored. Like, that's going to be a generally good fight for them.
What's Yang up to? I think they spotted each other. Yeah, Matu dropping the voice line as well. The Witch Dogs are scouting in the enemy Ancients. And Frisk is also lurking around mid as well, but Vici not really in a position here to collapse onto Matumba Man.
He's still behind enemy lines here, but...
Is trying to snipe couriers?
You know...
It looks like he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I think he just doesn't want to maybe use his TP right now, like if he just doesn't get found, he maybe feels okay with this.
Thinking about cutting the wave, no, besides.
It's not like he's doing any warding here, he's just, you know, doing a little walkabout.
Bit of a dream walk, yeah. He's trying to find his path in life. Figure out where he's going.
Radiant are scanning.
Like Earthshaker, adapting to the scenario, going for Shard rather than that Blink Dagger Rush, which is nice to see. And Zai, a little trapped in the trees here. He gets the vision from the rocket flare, so he sees Yang, he knows where XM is, and they're going to go for the hook shot. Gets the stun onto the Witch Doctor, and Boxy opening up a kill onto that support of Vici Gaming, while Static Storm misses a little there from Insania. Doesn't find Frisk or XM, but with Sniper's arrival, Frisk will get dragged back into his waiting arms.
Such a funny journey that Witch Doctor took, like going looping around the enemy Ancients, not getting scouted, and he comes bottom, walks through a creep wave, and he's like, oh crap, this is bad. Didn't find the Venom I'm trying to kill, needs TP out, and poor Yang, there was a clockwork waiting for him, so in the end, they do find that kill on the Witch Doctor, and also get a +1 in the form of the Shaker, but is this a scenario where Vici Gaming are getting farm across the board? They're kind of in this holding pattern where they just want to buy time for these items to come up on their 3 cores, and it's up to Liquid to try and apply pressure.
Yeah, I mean, Witch Doctor's had a bit of time now, he's dead, so to try and figure out what was wrong with Google Maps and the route that decided to take him on.
Yeah.
42-hour canoe ride across the Atlantic, perfectly acceptable. And we do get our Primal Beast up to his herd, rushing towards that BKB as well. Getting pretty close to it, BAB. So not all doom and gloom for Vici Gaming, as they will start to hit their item timings. And it's a 4K lead for Liquid, it looks decent. I do need to keep this pressure on, like you've been saying, against the Morph, against this Beast. And Yang, the first point of contact. Deathward Maledict, Insania might just die to that. Mickey does get the first takedown onto the Witch Doctor, but it's a trade nonetheless.
Yeah, you take these kind of one-for-one trades when you're the team that's on the back foot a bit, but you need to be farming while it's all going on, and for the most part, Liquid are getting a bit more out of the map right now. They've had Leshrac just free farming away. Same for the Sniper, these 2 heroes topping the net worth charts, and on the other side for Vici Gaming, Eric is going to be a little bit more cautious with his farming patterns when you're playing into the Clockwork Disruptor. You can't just aggressively farm in the kind of places that you would normally be able to farm as a Wolfling.
Dire's bottom tower.
Guys, hide and hide away. XL the one that's going to be showing out on waves, but in the meantime, Liquid are in the Roche Pit. Already down to half health, and there's no way for Vici to get here or even contest. This is just a freebie for Liquid.
Yep.
What's the knock-on effect? Tier 1s, Tier 2s?
Yeah, these outer towers, and I think just the ability to, you know, invade any part of the Radiant side of the map where they might be farming. So, you know, they can't farm the entire map because you're just going to be chasing ghosts around the map, but they can at least control, like, you know, 60-70% of the map and turn this 4K gold lead into a much bigger gold lead as well. But they'd love to get a lot of these outer towers.
Dire's bottom tower.
Just a bit rough with Erica not having his Manta style done. Courier's still dead for a minute. But I guess it's still a waiting game for them. Try and tie these items together. The BKB Beast The shard is up for Earthshaker now for Frisk, so we'll have these nice fissures with the aftershocks coming into play from range. And does land one straight away onto Zai. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Wow! It just disappears.
Yeah.
Liquid, considering the return play onto XM, that glyphs across the beast into the static storm, and Mickey's there with the damage.
Dire's courier.
It's still kind of okay. Like, you're the ones, again, these 1-for-1 trades when you're behind and you're trading the 3 position for 3 position, you're buying time for your carries to just keep, getting farm, and also for this Aegis to expire. Zai was just hanging around waiting for a Sentry Ward, finally got it out to D-Ward, and the second he went for the D-Ward, he got jumped there. So, very aggressive play from VG Gaming.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Beautiful way to hold on. Wait, has Yang been sat in these trees for the past 2 minutes?
Yeah. he's a man, like you said, he's a little bit lost. He needs to turn his map upside down. I don't know what it is, but he's finding some interesting places to play Dota this game, or not play Dota. I don't know. He's playing a different game altogether.
He's going on these long jungle treks, trying to find those hidden beaches. Get out there. Figure out where you want to be in life. Just trying to push out another wave or sit behind his carries. He's definitely a hero that can look to solo kill opposing supports whenever they show their faces. He's not too far away from his Aghanim Shard himself either. That's like the biggest thing about Witch Doctor nowadays, right?
It's so fun to play with. I mean, it gives you like a self-save as well, so just so much utility you get out of this shard, and we'll see him pick that one up momentarily. And as for the rest of the Team Liquid side, they've still got this decent lead here, playing around the Aegis on Sniper. They took the tier 2 top. Now they've got their eyes set a little bit on this mid lane.
Matsu. 3 heroes smoked behind him. They're kind of
leaving him. Yeah, they're kind of pretending they're staying behind him, but really they're actually going ultra on the map. Like, they could just kill Matsu twice here, but Liquid are kind of next leveling this.
Yeah, they're VG Gaming lacking critical information there. And Boxy breaks vision straight up to high ground. The hook shot onto Frisk. Easy peasy. Takes down the Earthshaker. And even aiming for a little bit more. XM doesn't have any astral steps. He doesn't assimilate. They turn with Yang. Death Ward onto Zai. Huge damage burst, but now XM's the one in trouble. Assimilate and step is available to jump away a bit of distance with his BKB as well. XM looks like he might be out of there. Oh, is he going to get glimpsed or stunned or just killed off with clicks? It looked a little close, but he gets home safely.
He waited for that TP. He timed it so that, like, the last 0.1 seconds of his BKB was when the TP went out. First gives him a little tip, like, dude, good job timing that one. And in the end, yeah, Liquid don't quite get the big targets they were looking for. They did run into the Primal Beast here. I thought they may go for him. I guess maybe they didn't have time to check if he has a BKB himself, so they go for the easy kill on the Shaker. Getting the Venom there again and again, delaying this Aegis timer. This 5k gold lead is suddenly a 3k gold lead. VG Gaming are kind of progressing in the right direction.
Yeah, you keep looking at Erica, right? 1-1-1, Morphlings had a pretty quiet game, but not really involved in these fights. Always on the opposing side of the map, finding that additional bit of farm, which Liquid are kind of giving to him. And he's not far away from a BKB himself, so Master BKB is going to be an incredibly difficult target to kill as this game moves forward. What's after that? Like, what's next? Is it an Ags game for Erica, or Skadi, Daedalus? What's up?
I guess the Ag Scepter this game, who are you using it on to steal stats from? I mean, I guess the Sniper, that sounds pretty decent, so don't mind the Aghanim Scepter. I think otherwise you're just looking for, like, more stats, like Skadi, Satanic type items, just go become this, like, late game unkillable beast, but not sure what he's going to have in mind. The BKB timing, though, double BKB, triple BKB, actually, on VG Gaming is prime side.
Static Storm and the Split Earth coming in onto the Earthshaker. VG Gaming, full retreat from the 2 remaining members that were sat up top lane. As Liquid have 5 here now as the Aegis expires.
Yeah, Liquid's kind of one of these teams, they love to kind of group up as 5 and move around and stick on the same screen together. Particularly once they hit these strong mid-game timings, and that's kind of where they're at now. They've got Zai with his, typical utility items, got the Rake Pack, the Vessel. This is kind of go time for them. Like, they're not necessarily just building the Sniper to go, like, drag the game and go super late game. They get this pretty, I mean, not fast BKB, but they go for it over these other items. They want to, they want to keep fighting themselves.
Yang run. He tries to kill off a troll in the camp, then he goes to the outpost, gets rocket flared, scouted. He's still doing decently though, he's got more net worth than Insania does. Shard, cloak, getting tankier on his Witch Doctor every step of the way.
Regeneration.
Getting some wards down as well.
They need this Shaker Blink, although it's not necessarily the biggest game-changing item when you consider like the Venom and stuff and the Clockwork that can really negate what a Shaker can do. It's much more important to play around your fissures, so some box Shaker get caught.
And gonna lock in onto him. They also glimpse back BAB to force his first BKB usage. Had to use it defensively there. It looks like Liquid were rallying around the sniper to move into that mid-tier 2 area, but they're sweeping through the bottom jungle and actually aiming for kills, trying to play around the observable. They do have an aggressive position. They scouted out Vici's retreat.
There's 3 heroes down here. What's the call from Vici? Yeah, they're just going to look to TP out in the trees here, but no hook shot. Yang may be the one left behind you. He gets scouted out. I think the edge of the rocket flare giving them the glimpse.
Nice little dodge on the split earth, but inevitable that he would die in the end. And Mickey unstoppable now on this lash, top of the net worth.
Some good aggressive plays. Liquid are just doing a good job hunting heroes. Anyone who shows himself on the map, making sure that they're kind of farming up the enemy jungle along the way. Like they play bottom when Vici Gaming go there. Vici Gaming are going to vacate it, so they'll try and pressure this tier 2 tower, and then we'll likely see them kind of swing towards that Radiant triangle once they get this bottom tier 2 tower if possible.
Yeah, it's also nearly tier 3 item time as well. Just a minute away, so we'll start to look for stacks of ancients, maybe clear out jungle camps to get those tier 3 items to hit that Roshan timing even harder, because he's potentially up in 30 seconds. Liquid maintaining that top lane with Zai.
Dire's middle tower
Vici
is under attack.
moving up here, but they're under dire vision again. Watched as they migrate north.
Dire's top tower.
Zai sees it coming, and he's quickly out of there.
Radiant are scanning.
On the jump. Radiant scan boxy. Hasted Clockwork, hook shots back in onto Frisk, solo Echo Slam from the Earthshaker onto Boxy, and Clockwork is out. Stack Storm's drop, but Erica has the BKB cover, while Massive just opens up, peeping it away, and BAB onslaught to get down to low ground, away from the sights of Matuma Man Sniper.
And not done. They're trying to chase down BAB, but he finds a little nook to TP out from, but a big kill on the Void Spirit. He couldn't even get his BKB off there. Just got peeped down by the sniper, and Liquid follow up this fight with an immediate Roshan. They're just doing, I mean, again, it's the same kind of idea as what we saw bottom lane. They're just running at Vici Gaming wherever they go. They know they're so much stronger and can win any fight, and they can fight into these areas of the map where they don't have vision because they're playing with Clockwork and Venom. Like, it's so much easier to make aggressive plays when you have these heroes that just naturally give you vision. You don't rely on getting good wards up and playing around like cliffs and stuff when you can just go, charging in as a Venom or hook shot into, multiple enemy heroes when you've got all this great backup.
Yeah, it's so cool to see this kind of coming back into fashion. You think back to 2017 with Virtus Pro, where they loved this Disruptor Slardar Sniper, and they picked that trio of heroes to have vision, have the ability to catch and kill over and over again. Very similar story here for Team Liquid, as they get that almost instant rotary spawn as well to be able to keep the pressure on. Top and mid shoved in towards Radiant base, so Vici Gaming finding the little space they have down near that bottom tier 2.
They're trying to pressure down bottom, but Liquid's coming knocking on their doors. They're going high ground here. They want to try and get a lane of racks out of this Aegis.
You don't have the Blink Echo. Blink is 200 gold away, Echo's on cooldown for 40 seconds. Something that Vici Gaming desperately need. Frisk is just going to have to try and line up these fissures to block them away.
Yep. It's just having a miserable time this game. There's so little he can do with all the scouting and playing an Venom Sniper. Like, none of these heroes feel good to play into as a Shaker.
They've got to come back and do something as XM is being obliterated. And artillery cannon of Masu, 40mm cannon, just shoving his projectiles straight into the
down
side of the Void Spirit, and Earthshaker down to a few little hits from Masu.
Yeah, try hiding some trees and stuff, but Rocket Flares, Plague Wards, just always going to find you, and they just walk in, take a lane of racks, get out with a Shaker kill who, yeah, as I said, still doesn't have this Blink Dagger. Even with the Blink, I just don't feel like there's a whole lot you can do. Like, who does he Blink Echo there? And it's not like the Blink Echo is going to instantly blow some people up as well.
I don't know. I mean, all of Masu's finished military training coming into play here. He's like the White Death. Simo the sniper from the forest. Been away at people as Vichy. As you jump in, look at the Mickey. BKB's out. The Bloodstone's going, but it's not enough to keep him alive. And Masu, considering his options here with his own BKB, thinking about turning and fighting with his Aegis, and now just focusing buildings again.
No, they committed quite a lot to get that initial kill. Shaker is back, but he pulled back, so this Blink Dagger even further away now. No real threat of any kind of Blink Echo Slam, and Sniper, 2 minutes left on Aegis, can just peep away at these buildings. They did a good job bursting the Leshrac here that doesn't have an Aegis, but I think Masu's realizing, well, what are they going to do about me now?
Glyph buys a little bit of time, but it just feels like a foregone conclusion. Wraith backed up at the front, range rank's gone. Fisher into onslaught, but a good force staff back from Bossy. Now the Static Storm. They know he doesn't have BKB, so they blow up the Primal Beast. A shot and glimpse. A little bit of confusion there from Liquid, but Zai jumps in aggressively, wanting to play forward. With Sniper able to people away at them. Erica, he's made the jump forward, but a concussive shot gives Masu the distance he needed. Onslaught again. BAB's trapped in the cogs again, though. Oh, the Primal Beast. You wanted to go for Boxy, but he's turned off to you and killed him again. Nice play from Yang to at least get a trade. Dodger split out again with a switcheroo. But Yang dead. No Beast for 65 seconds, and you need another buyback from your Witch Doctor.
Yeah. It may be enough with Sniper getting low that they're going to defend this melee Rex in the mid lane, but they're chewing through all these buybacks. They're really forcing these fights to try and get some kills to get them back in the game. And it's a decent chunk of XP to go with the gold that they're getting, but they're getting further and further behind.
And now Liquid grabbing that bottom outpost. The map is dark, it's small. One observer ward for Vici Gaming out there near that top rune spot, and that's all they've got. It's just such nice back and forth play from Liquid. These four staffs, the concussive shot, Hurricane Pike, everything.
They're kiting so well. Like, this Primal Beast is just feeling like a different hero here in game number 2 after what we saw do game 1, where it was the difference maker, like the MVP. In this game, 1, 5, and 4. They just drafted heroes that really negate what it can do, and just the Sniper, the 4 staffs to just really play around Primal Beast so well. Okay, he just expires in 20, so not going for this. There is maybe a small window if they get the jump at the right time to kill Masu, but he probably, he knows he's got just enough to get this melee Rax and still back off.
Absolutely. Everybody in unison, falling away from that Radiant base. And top lane could do with a little bit of a push. Bottom lane could get held in as well. As
you go, Vici Gaming, smoking up.
It's like a last ditch effort almost, and there's no blink on Earthshake, and the smoke breaks on Cesar. He blinks away, and now into the Static Storm. XM is dead! They've got Ags on Insania, there's no way out of that one. Masu is being focused though by the Morphling, but he turns with his BKB. Right-clicking away onto Erica, helped out by Boxy and Zai here, and Masu is perfectly fine. Depth Ward is dropped. Morphling diving in and trying to chase down this Sniper. Can they bring him down? He's getting very low, the Pulverize comes. Masu finally falling, but BAB and Erica, have they got enough left in the tank to deal with Zai and the rest of Liquid now? Yes, they do. Erica with a killing spree. Grabs up another huge kill, and Vici finally finding their stride.
Yeah, about as good as you can hope for, and just timing it, getting all these, every little item they could get, finally pushing out as soon as the Aegis expires with a big 5-man smoke kick, and like a big part of Liquid's maybe undoing is just Mika getting a bit over aggressive with his positioning there on the left track. When they pump the smoke, Zai, he blinks backwards. He's like, okay, we scouted this smoke, let's get out of here. We'll see it here again. Zai sees him coming, he blinks away, but meanwhile Mika goes in like 1 versus like 3 alone and gets deleted. Even, I mean, killing the Void Spirit's nice and all, but Morphling's the real, threat in these fights. Void Spirit alone is not really going to swing the tides in Liquid's favor to kind of be able to take that fight, particularly with the Leshrac down.
Yeah, even with Satanic concussive shot, Hurricane Pike, you see Masu skipping, jumping, dodging away. And here they got through that Satanic. Erica and BAB did such a great job at tracking back, and the maneuverability Vici are starting to show now. Definitely becoming apparent.
Yeah, and they're still a bit away from it, but like Morphling hitting something like a level 25 and getting a double waveform would be really nice as well to kind of prevent some of this kiting. But he's got, just level 22, so quite a ways to go. And Liquid still have a lot of breathing room. 14k gold lead, 2 lanes of racks. They're still the ones with a pretty sizable advantage here, but fights like that are going to make them kind of second guess just what the state of this game is, and you know whether or not they can beat this Morphling in the late game. Morphling is about to complete a Daedalus to go with the BKB Skadi Manta.
Oh, it's going to be huge. Yeah, it might be time for Insania to think, hey, nearly have my blink. I'm going to blink and static storm that morph before he can mount a BKB.
I like that. Yeah, I think you almost, you need to prioritize. I mean, you kill this Morphling, the fight's easy. Like, the fight's over at that point. It doesn't matter what the Void Spirit, the Primal Beast do. These heroes just don't have the damage. You know, they've got the control, the utility for these team fights, but Morph is the only one that has any ability to threaten this sniper.
Especially when we're looking at buybacks, only Clock and Disruptor have them right now. And entirety of VG Gaming either on cooldown or not having the money for it. I spent 4 buybacks previously, and Morphling's 1,500 gold away.
Yeah.
So they'll get back to their base and hold the staircase.
On the Vichy side, though, like, Morphling knows this. He probably knows that he's going to be priority number 1 for this Disruptor. So anytime he goes in aggressively, he's going to be just BKBing early, hiding around with the waveform, playing as cautiously as possible because he cannot afford to get caught in the static storm without using his BKB.
And 1 minute to wait. So much to do on this map, though, from Vichy. Primal Beast deal with that bottom lane. One more wave. He's feeling a little danger coming his way. We don't see a single member of Liquid until Mickey shows in that top lane now. And that rocket flare, look at them. Rocket flares, 3 of them flying out.
Good times.
There he goes.
Hello, Frisk. I see you. I see your blink. I see your Echo Slam. Vichy, knowing how important this Roshan is. Has 5. They've executed these team fights well previously. Let's see if they can do it one more time.
It's always a bit harder for them. They don't have that natural scouting. They don't have those summons, the rocket flares. Rocket flares kind of right on top of them. They put a ward here. That gets scouted, though, so they kind of revealed their position, and if you're Liquid, you kind of just have to assume that's a 5-man smoke when Yang pops out of nowhere.
Especially when tier 4s in the top lane. Dire creeps all over their base.
Under attack.
Liquid just set up a wall of plague wards around these ramps, around these entry pathways towards Roshan. So if VG Gaming want to make a play on this Roshan, they're going to have to go probably for another smoke here. Again, they're being scouted out here. Yang, so hard to avoid these rocket flares. Clockwork just using the overclocking to just spam out rocket flares as well.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Even has a level 10 talent for that cooldown reduction as well. Non-stop flares. Wait, does VG Gaming have another smoke? I'm clicking all their heroes. I don't see any. They might be out of smokes.
They may just be deciding to give up Roshan at this point. Like, it's just so difficult to get on the map when you're playing against these heroes and this scouting, and you're just asking to walk into, like, you know, the Disruptor's Static Storm, for example. So it's much easier to play around, you know, your cliffs, your high ground, because then you're just going to get a lot more info and have a much better idea of where someone like Insania is positioned, because Dream Fight for Vichy Gaming, they want to jump someone like this Disruptor. They want to kill him before he uses his spells or force him to drop a poor Static Storm.
More flares. BAB, Yang, and Erica. And they're all down here as VG Gaming, but Liquid know this. There's a good bit of Radiant Vision here to play under as well. Triple Observer Wards in the bottom jungle. And Liquid, they don't have any themselves, so a team fight, if it breaks out down here, VG could have the advantage with the wards that they've got.
She's invis and smoked up here. No gem on the Radiant side, but they have got sentries, so I have an idea where Boxy is. They're going to pop this smoke now.
Still on the vision, XM jumps in, trying to catch Boxy, but as quickly as they are in, they jump out again.
Radiant's middle
They
tower
get
is
scattered.
under
Triple
attack.
rocket flare comes flying out again. Liquid just see everything.
With flair.
Lighting up the night sky here in game 2 as they take down Frisk with Mickey and Insania's move.
They still want to fight this. They're playing around this clip, but once again, yeah, these rocket flares, they just keep getting spotted. I think you just gotta abandon ship, go back to your base, defend these tier 4 towers that are getting pelted away by creeps. But VG Gaming are adamant that they want to play around this observer ward of theirs.
I feel like that's their best chance, but yeah, you're right. Tier 4's dropping quickly to creeps, even with the new Radiant Waves spawning. VG Gaming have to come back and maintain these lanes, and this gives Liquid the ability now to swarm forward, de-ward this entire jungle, and start looking towards the final lane of barracks down at bottom.
He is still pushed up pretty far forward here. What is he thinking?
He's got buyback, and he will immediately snap into action. But now you're looking again, and VG Gaming having very few buybacks available. In fact, Morphling, I believe, Morphling and Earthshaker now, the two heroes with them. Jump from it. Oh, we got a stack storm on the Morphling. Oh, Erica's dead. Has to buyback straight off the bat as XM getting blown up by Mickey as well. Insania with a god play just shoves high ground.
What a beast. Just catches out both cores. Just this disruptor, hard carrying from the 5 position. They're not out of it just yet, BT. This buyback on Morphling, he knows Static Storm to worry about for now. Can Erica find a good initiation?
I think putting some people back, but the Primal Beast is in. BKB's up, and Erica focusing in onto Mickey and Masu. Wake the Slam is there! Frisk with efficient lands and onto the 3 of them soon. VG Gaming still with something left to give. Another stun, Masu. He's the target of choice. They want to bring him down. There's shaken now, but he's got buyback again. Masu half health. He's got Satanic still to play with. Erica being turned on. The dieback morph would be disastrous for VG, but XM has respawned in onto Mickey. And VG Gaming, they might have a team fight victory at long last. But they're on the run again, losing out as BAB battles in onto Zai. Electra's dead for 2 minutes now, and Masu's brought back as well.
Somehow Morphling lived though. There's still a sliver of hope for VG Gaming. If they can get this Morphling healed up in base, he's salving up, doing everything to try to get back out. Mickey died back on the ledge track, so maybe they can defend this, but they've got to heal up first.
Oh my goodness. And we're in a position now where Ninja Gear Insania has the Blink Static Storm.
Oh yeah. One Static Storm and it's over.
That's what he's looking for. Boxy does have a shot as well.
They've got to find this disruptor, but how do you? Great, it's so clever to pass over the Ninja Gear.
Sends in. He sees Insania trying to jump back towards him. It's being caught out by Eric. Static Storm's down, trying to kill him back Sam with a spread across. Zai being brought low, but Erica just can't get the job done here. XM dead. Morphling and Primal Beast, the only 2 remaining heroes here for VG Gaming, and Liquid charging forward with their horde of heroes moving towards the throne. Erica get back into Fountain. Glimpses there, but the BKB counters in as he blinks forward onto Zai, gets the blow up on him. Last chance ditch effort here from VG as Masu concussion back to safety. And Erica again just not able to stick on the target he wants. But Frisk, he's got the Fisher. Doesn't kill Masu and flips the way to save the sniper, dying to the poison in the end. And again, we're in a 2 versus 4 where VG Gaming disadvantaged. And Liquid looking to close out game 2 to tie things up.
Yeah, just such great maneuvering around this fight. Marty using the grenade, using the Hurricane Pike, just not letting the Morphling quite finish him off. Like, this Morphling's holding. He's winning these fights like 2v4 and by himself, but he just can't quite finish these targets off when the Shaker and his teammate, the Primal Beast, aren't there to lock people down. And now with the throne so low, this could just be game over if Sniper finishes off. Yeah, there we go. GG. Game 3, here we go.
That's what we wanted. That's what we needed. After a game 1 stomp, Team Liquid and Insania's Disruptor really showing up hot here in game 2.
Yeah, but like the Philosopher's Stone in game 1 on the supports, and it shows up game 2 as well. This time in Insania's hands, getting such a fast Aghanim Scepter. Those Ag Static Storms just making all the difference in these team fights, giving them a way to actually jump on and kill both the Void Spirit and the Morphling heroes that thought they could rely on their BKB, even their Aeon Disc. Like, he pops the Aeon Disc in the Static Storm, but it just lasts too long that they still bring down XM there in that last game-deciding team fight. Liquid just, it's great to see them bounce back in such a kind of convincing fashion.
Vici Games turn to
选阵就像选装备，精心挑选，不
Primal Beast yet again, and also the Shadow Fiend. But
yeah, you thought I was trolling about the Venomancer.
No.
It's moving up in priority as the series goes on. From second phase back.
Morphling, we take.
It's like always like the X factor on this hero. You could be like down so far in gold, but if you somehow get a nice blink static storm off, you can turn any game with this. So
seconds remaining.
Very much.
Which I'm not too sure. A lot of the heroes that they want are not in the are not in the pool. I would have felt like, so here if you're Vici, again you want to solidify your team a bit, perhaps you go for the BAB Mars, but of course Liquid isn't going to give that one to you, because I think both teams need to look at like their type of how do they want to team fight, what are your win conditions, and Vici already, they made it clear, Morphling, you're our boy, we're going to buff you up, we're going to give you the team fight you need, and then go from there. But this offlane pick right now for Vici, I feel like might put them a little bit out of their current comfort zone.
Something that I actually spied there looking at the camera a bit for Liquid, seeing that it is pick time for VC Gaming. They're not really talking at all, so it kind of feels like they're not planning too far ahead, but taking it step by step here in a crucial game, which is also a good indicator that they're really just staying in the moment here too. You could in sometimes start to plan about, okay, are we where are we putting the Shadow Fiend? Do we want to pick our carry next? Do we go for off lane? What do we want to do in the last phase? but they really want to just take it step by step.
5 seconds remaining.
That looks like a block pick. I mean, it's pretty okay, I guess, versus Disruptor, but I could definitely see Liquid taking that Lycan if Ichi didn't snag it right there. We saw Secret running that against the Morphling every game. Maybe they're a little afraid of that. So I wonder how much of that pick was influenced just to like block pick and kind of like cover the Morphling's trail here.
Yeah, I hope that they feel good about it. They can in a way. I don't think they're necessarily banned for it that much. That is sometimes a little bit of the problem. So when you have this Morphling on the closing pick in the first place, you often need to ban a lot of heroes for some of these carries. Like Morphling, he will always require like an AA +1 carry ban. But I do think, so with this Lycan, as I mentioned, that maybe they didn't ban for it as well as perhaps they should. I feel like Liquid's closing pick in this phase, they should really look at a Tidehunter type of hero. This Grimstroke Lycan combo is somewhat cool actually, because you can Inkswell the Wolves, you can also Inkswell the Clockwork, so that's kind of cool. But in terms of Liquid, I would be very surprised if we don't... They're gonna either answer with their carry here, because you don't really want to play SF safe lane against Lycan, it's
5
not
seconds
that great.
remaining.
Or you just take the Tidehunter here. I feel like it truly answers a lot of the team fight. Morph doesn't want the BKB early. You deal with all the Lycan that's running in, because currently, as we said, the supports don't deal with it all too well, and he can build auras for your SF and your last pick.
Played Morphling Lycan twice, and they've won both games with this combo, but this Grimstroke, which we haven't really seen at all, there's only one Grimstroke game in the entire tournament, and that was played by Infamous.
Yeah, it's because the hero is not that strong right now, I think.
Yeah.
Beat each other. That's gonna be like fear. What do we think about it? How do we rate it?
I mean, I think they're either gonna win this game, right, and be like, this is amazing, or they're gonna get eliminated doing the memes. Like, this is quite simply, they picked this to put the Inkswell on the Wolves, right? And it's either gonna be really cool, or it's not gonna work. So I'm a little, like, scared here for Vici, but you can also go into the Agnum Scepter on the Grimstroke and turn the SF if he goes a physical build, right? And that is pretty powerful. I am a little afraid about the tempo, though, of Vici's draft, as Clockwork has his work cut out for him this game. They do have one more pick, and I think they're kind of, like, forcing their mid laner to be more of, like, a stun type of initiation role, but you don't really want to play those heroes into the SF mid, as it usually gets pretty bodied there. Maybe Tiny's the one hero I think can lane SF pretty well as one of those melee type of heroes, but it might just get banned. I'm a little afraid here for Vici's like team composition.
I mean, the team composition for Liquid looking pretty good. I mean, they pick up the Beastmaster here, something to allow a little bit more vid for this Disruptor. Hopefully some plays coming out. They're going to get overall last pick. Okay, so but how do you feel their team composition and their tempo is compared to Fear, who's worried for VGs?
Yes, both teams have the potential to be like very up-tempo in their drafts, and the thing is there's a very high chance that the mid pick is going to be the difference maker, and as Fear is saying, I definitely agree with his point. There's not that many mid heroes that you can pick here blind, like either blind where you get counterpicked or where you lane against SF, that help you achieve what you want, which is like, okay, we want you to be fine mid, but then also go and rotate to the Lycan to like help open up the game or be able to counterplay the Beastmaster in the safe lane. I feel like that's a little bit worrisome with the Tiny being banned out. Liquid understand it, Fear also called it. It was probably one of the better picks for Vici. So right now, I think going into the last phase, it will usually be easier for the second pick team, which is Liquid in this case. But it isn't always disfavored, because I feel like this last pick for them can really seal the deal quite hard if Vici mispick.
I would be super curious if VG decided to go something like Lina here. Like, I was thinking Viper for a bit. It got banned by Liquid though, but the Lina to at least have some kind of straight combination with the Grimstroke. Void was something I thought that has a bit of synergy, keeping heroes close to each other, get more pump out of the Resonant Pulse, but they decided to go for the Puck instead, so at least that gives them some early game potential. A hero that can get away with a very good game. But there's a lot of lockdown, at least on the side of Liquid, so if this Puck gets caught once, that could spell disaster for VG.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the one of the few like range tempo heroes they could have picked. I just don't know the SF Puck matchup that well. Very curious to see how XM will perform in this one, as SF is like one of the probably the strongest mid laner I want to say right now as far as like lane domination. So yeah, if you're able to make space, you have to have a decent lane, and I think Puck does have a chance in that. So I do like this pick. I think it's better than picking some melee hero here. So there's the Lone Druid. That's probably my favorite hero in Dota. I love to see him played. And this particular game, Lycan is a hero that does pretty well versus Lone Druid in the lane stage. It doesn't get bullied that hard. Versus, they're going the same route, right? They're picking a hero that doesn't really get affected by the Aghanims, that's the Lone Druid. So they're eliminating that option of going for the Ags play on the Morphling here. So a lot of building damage too. I could go on forever about this draft. I kind of love Liquid's draft here. They have like the minus damage on towers from like the talents, or minus armor on talent from the Shadow Fiend with the Lone Druid death, so they could actually end this game super fast.
Okay, well, I might come back to you, Fia, but I want to hear thoughts first, because for you, how you feel this draft ended out.
So I think it's Liquid favored, but there is definitely a world. Again, we've had this a lot of times today where one team is we maybe don't like that draft as much, but they have a small chance to play like super high up tempo. The Lycan can have a very good game with the Grimstroke, Puck Coil, Clockwork hook shots. They really need to execute this to like a very, very high degree. Otherwise, I think Liquid will walk away with this game.
Alright, T-Panda, this game number 3, is it going to be that reverse sweep?
Potentially, maybe. I mean, VG Gaming, they have a pretty solid, well-rounded draft in the end, but Liquid has one perk here that we haven't really seen VG Gaming utilize, and that's Rat Dota, because, you know, like Fia already mentioned, the Bear combined with the SF, that is some massive pushing power that they got.
Alright, Fia, you can give your closing thoughts about how you think it's going to go. I know that you love this draft, so very quickly.
I just think right now that the push potential from Liquid, if they have a good laning stage, are just going to take this game over really quickly. But if this game goes ultra late, it's going to be a very close game. But as usual, I normally go for the Morphling if network advantages are equal.
I mean, normally they say a quick game's a good game, but right here in Dota, game number 3, an elimination series, we want a close game. So let's jump in with Gareth and Gods.
Thank you, Nat. Game 1 was one way straight for VG Gaming. Game 2, Liquid fighting back like we've been seeing. Game 3 here, guys. Liquid, full comfort zone for them. Push strat, minus armor, tons of control. And VG, I kind of like what Keza was saying. They need to execute.
Yeah, and it feels like, I mean, it doesn't just feel like there is very little room for error when you're playing against this kind of a draft. Like the push potential of the Lone Druid, SF with minus armor and buildings, Beastmaster, you lose one fight or you slip up one time and the game will just suddenly be over.
Some pretty serious power spikes and windows, terms which I feel like we don't use very much nowadays, but with Liquid's draft, it's absolutely all about these item timings. Even 20 minutes in, you can see this Master Bear with a Zai Beastmaster running at tier 1s and crushing them quickly.
Yeah, so VG have, I was gonna say what VG have going for them is, you know, this ability to actually hunt and like kind of assassinate heroes. Like I expect a game where we see this Puck playing super active, stopping some of that push before it even comes their way, and then using stuff like the Lycan plus Grimstroke, drop an Inkswell on either your Clockwork, a Lycan Wolf, the Lycan himself, run at the SF, and just constantly look for some of these kills early on.
Yeah, get those picks. And now, just a couple of wolves scouting a bear.
Begins.
Looks like a backstab from Box. He's trying to snipe a bounty rune, but he's met by Erica and Yang. So we will get 2 for 2 at the start of game 3 here. Again, it's time to decide who goes into that lower bracket final for a chance to go to TI. A VP already waiting for them. And a loss here, of course, means your road to TI ends.
And once again, it's mid lane Matu in an elimination game. We saw it last game with the Sniper, this time the Lone Druid. This is a mid matchup they were playing quite a lot in Texas at the Arlington Major. They loved playing this Lone Druid into Puck. That was back when Puck was considered like the most OP hero of the patch. They were willing to kind of leave it in the pool if it meant they could get a Lone Druid to send mid against it.
Yeah, they were one of the key teams that were playing this kind of IO Marcy Lone Druid, which we saw from OG and LGD, really stacking auras and buffs onto the bear, and make him a real potent threat. Yep. And Liquid, they did start with a tri lane for the first wave or so. Now we will see, of course, Boxy moving back up to top to help out his Shadow Fiend. Leaving Insania down in the bottom lane again.
Yeah, again, it's this, like, okay, we want to melee support with our ranged carry, and Boxy on Tusk, not Clockwork, but playing into just the Lycan, a single melee hero. Last time he had a really good game against Shaker as well as Primal Beast, so I don't think he's going to be in for as good of a time this game, but there's still a lot he can make happen.
Absolutely. I'm just thinking back quickly to the final couple of picks, the Grim and the Puck. It really felt like you're looking at this potential for Beastmaster and Lone Druid. The other three heroes they picked had no wave clear whatsoever, so it was nice to see them grab a couple of heroes that can hold onto towers and shove back some of these summons that Liquid bring to the table.
I think one of the interesting points is going to be like what kind of build Shadow Fiend goes for. If it is going to be right-click build, I mean the minus armor obviously is going to be a big part of maybe their strategy, but whether some of these mid SFs like what we've seen out of like GPK and stuff, and some of these other players as being more magic damage heavy.
Oh, nice shards. They're going to get in on top of Frisk and find the first blood for Mickey. Oxy lets him have it.
That's a nice little early pickup for Liquid. The laning stage has been such a key factor for both the two games so far. We've had two pretty one-sided games, and a big cause has just been one team coming out of the lanes with a pretty sizable advantage.
Yeah, I kept flicking my eyes down bottom because every time I see you down there, it's Yang with Battery Assault on top of Zai, and Erica spamming out these adaptive strikes, keeping Zai at bay. And Senya, it's been a little more difficult for him because if he gets caught out with a Battery Assault, he could very likely die quickly.
Yeah. He's got the windlace to try and counteract that, giving up any little bit of extra movement speed, and you've got Zai pulling waves behind the tower, so mostly Liquid not really wanting to play this lane heads up. They're trying to manipulate that equilibrium to give themselves an advantage.
Alright, even starting to stack some camps there. Zai with his board just before it expires. And Erica farming behind his tier 1 on this Morphling. Looking pretty decent so far, 13-8, but it's these other lanes where Masu, 16-6, starting to demolish that Puck. And Senya glimpsing Yang away. Yeah, also the Shadow Fiend, with that first blood and 20 last hits. He's cruising so far in his first 5 minutes.
Yep. That's the early Bassi to kind of secure his lane just for that kind of casual Bassi mana regen, and it's a tough lane. All Lycan can really do is kind of sit up here and farm and try and just get some early levels. There's not really any way for them to make any kind of aggressive plays up here, and Frisk is just trying to play the creep equilibrium game. Keep the lane pushed back, go for some of these side pulls whenever possible, but he's the one who has to be super careful, much like Insane does down bottom.
Yeah, not really looking for kill threat on the SF or anything like that, even though he's got Inkswell leveled up. Maybe put it on a Wolf, try and harass down the Shadow Fiend, but for now, Liquid going to bring Tusk into the top water rune, and Masu sends the bare bottom.
Yep. They met XM at the top rune and managed to get the double rune out of it. They TP the bear. He just returns it back to the mid lane. So he's going to continue to just look to best this Puck in the last hit battle. Currently 8 denies to the Puck's 4 denies, and with a sizable CS advantage here.
Looking incredibly good. Zai, the only one really struggling on Liquid's side, but like you said, he's been dragging waves, finding little holes for himself to sit in.
Yeah. I feel like this is every Beastmaster game. I just always see this hero lose its lane these days. Yeah.
But I might get my helmet 9 minutes if I'm very, very lucky and we kill them a bunch of times, but usually it's around 11, 12, and he's going to be aiming for.
Yeah, and all these Beastmasters, they come back, they farm a couple jungle camps, they still get a good, they'll get their home eventually, they'll push the tower. It's maybe going down here. Ooh, there we go. Just enough damage.
There's a good glimpse of Insane here, but still losing Beastmaster while top lane. Mickey puts the damage in onto the Lycan with those raises and right clicks. The Wolves, though, with his Inkswell, can they focus on the correct one? They can. They got rid of it. So Frisk now left stranded, and Mickey going to pick up a yet. He dies to that stroke of fate. The Grim kills the SF, but they still lose 2 heroes top.
Yeah. Still an acceptable trade for Liquid. They were so close hitting the double kill and keep the SF alive there. The stroke coming up off cooldown just in time. This top lane has been a problem for Vici Gaming. They have at least gotten some OKCS on the Lycan, but these kills that are going Liquid's way definitely pose a problem for them.
On Boxy, okay. Observable high ground for Frisk. It looked like Boxy had slipped just past the Grim Stroke But they catch a bit of vision there onto the Tusk, seeing him into that entrance area.
Just another move, keeping these runes out of XM's hands. He was hoping for a bottom rune, but no 4-minute water rune, no 6-minute power rune. He's had to make a walk back to base, and as a result, he's about half a level behind Matu's Lone Druid and losing that CS battle, of course. So tough lane for XM.
Right, so what's the kind of timing that Vici are looking for? Panel was saying late game they're going to look pretty good, but is there an early point at which they can fight back?
I mean, it's going to be around this Puck Dreamcoil, perhaps, or Lycan's level 6, but the Inkswell plus the Dreamcoil are kind of their big early game tools. So I'm curious to see if these two supports kind of sync up. I think they want to bring the Clockwork with the Grimstroke if they want to kind of take some of these early fights and moves, which does mean leaving Erica alone, but I think one of the strengths of picking Morphling is that the idea is that you can leave him alone, and you'll give Zai some kind of catch-up space if you're playing just against solo Morphling, but it almost seems essential for Vici Gaming that they make some kind of game-oriented plays, or this early game is going to, not go their way.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I'm asking is usually with a Grimstroke, you've got partners, right, with the Soulbind, so when you hit 6, you've got double Doom or double Stuns. Here, double Adaptive Strike.
Yeah, they weren't really picking it for the Soulbind this game. I guess they just saw a lot of value in the Inkswell. Plus, something you mentioned was just having some wave clear against this super heavy, push-oriented draft. So there is some utility that this Grimstroke brings to the table. There's a potential Ags later on, to put on the SF. So we'll see where he goes.
Imagine if you could make an Ags version of the bear. That would be pretty handy.
Here we go, top lane, there's the Inkswell, but doesn't even connect it. Mickey just walks away, but they didn't have a kill anyways. But this is the idea. You've got level 3 wolves now that are in biz. You can put the Inkswell on them.
Radiant's
Action
middle
mid.
tower is under attack.
XM getting run at by the bear actually spends the coil, so Matu resummons, and it looks like El Doge going to go in towards Frisk. XM looking to get away with an orb off to the right-hand side, but the Grimstroke trapped under the grasp of the entangling claws, and a final touch from the bear will take him down. VG also brought in a Clockwork here to try and continue fighting. This is a bear resummon. If they can kill it, a massive victory for them, but there's just no way with the rest of Liquid arriving. Tusk and the Disruptor trying to keep Master in fighting shape. Boxy with a nice snowball, and there are the claws, rooted up and entangling the Clockwork to take the second support kill.
Yeah, Matu's just so strong at this point. You get the level 7 bear, and nobody wants to really go near him or fight him. You're, as a support, teeping into a Spirit Bear. You just get eaten alive. Phase Boost, Gloves of Haste, Orb of Corrosion. It's just no support can kind of match up against that unless you've got the ability to kind of kill off the bear, but they just lack the damage for it. They're going to instantly smoke up on the double supports, and Vici Gaming, this time around they're like, okay, we can't address this bear. Let's head top. Let's head somewhere else.
Yeah, it goes towards Mickey. Trying to pick off the Shadow Fiend. He's getting body blocked a little bit by the wolves, and in comes Yang. Inkswell Battery Assault will connect. And it's just a matter of damage at this point, and trapped inside the cogs, it looks like Vici should have it, unless there's Snowball. Save up from Boxy, can't get off the Requiem. Boxy unable to buy enough time for Mickey there, so a good move from Vici Gaming.
Fear closes second with the Tusk, and is that Requiem off, gets the Fear out. Maybe he can survive it, but a much needed kill for Vici Gaming in this early game, and now they've got the Lycan up to level 6. His health coming out, so this is kind of what Vici Gaming were waiting for, getting this Lycan level 6, playing around the Grimstroke Inkswell, and they're going to keep making these kind of aggressive plays with their supports as well as the Lycan and the Puck. Give Erica as much space as possible just to kind of farm and do his thing alone on the map.
And a similar story with the Beastmaster. We're talking about his timings of XM. Whoa!
He went in!
Just died!
Yeah, waiting rift forward, I guess he...
Dire's bottom tower.
The claws land. Oh no, he clawed the creep. It's still inside the cogs though, and the bear charging forward. Won't be able to catch up though with the roar on Frisk. They'll switch targets. Go for the Grimstroke instead. Vici Gaming starting to fall apart a little bit here, 10 minutes in.
Yeah, they've got serious Lone Druid problems. The Matu Lone Druid is such a classic for him, and in an elimination game, I mentioned going to the mid lane again, putting himself in the best position to control this game, and so far so good for the Lone Druid specialist.
Next time he comes in here, he orbs and then realizes his tower is forfeit. No way of defending it. Catapult wave utilized beautifully by Liquid, and now they can start transferring their efforts down to bottom.
And it's not just the lane advantage that makes Lone Druid good against Puck. It's the fact that Lone Druid pushes these objectives so fast. So XM kind of feels like he has to keep coming back to this mid lane. He can't make these rotations, particularly when you're not getting power runes. They lose the tower anyways, but XM has just spent this entire game in the mid lane not making those aggressive plays.
I mean, Yang's just being hunted. The Matsu bear is everywhere.
Dire's top tower is
Absolute
under
beast.
attack.
They're all losing tier 1 top. Erica makes sure to secure it. And they've got Shapeshift with a Wild Wing Ripper up here, but I don't know what they can do.
I can imagine Liquid will make the counterplay down bottom, go for this tier 1 with Matu making the move down there. Very unlikely Vichy Gaming can really put any pressure on the top tier 2 tower. There's too much danger with any TPs in, so
Yeah.
we'll see where they head next.
And yeah, because of the threat of that Lone Druid, because Vichy Gaming wanted to move top to try and kill off Mickey and find space there, it's given Zai a bit of a better time. We talked about his item timings and maybe a poor laning stage, but he's more than recovered.
It's going to be Vichy Gaming pressuring the tier 1 mid with the Morphling. They do want to defend their bottom tier 2 tower. Mask of Madness Lone Druid will melt this in no time at all, so they have to bring in the Puck, which means they may not be able to take the tier 1 mid. If anything, Liquid can make a counterplay.
Yeah, they go straight onto the Lycan. Oh, the Hurricane pushes back the bear. The Inkswell's there, but the shards are perfect from Boxy. Trapping in BAB, gets the TP as Frisk. He'll sacrifice himself. Glimpsed back in.
The Inkswell, he's got an Inkswell on him, so he's just like, I'm going to TP out, and this bear probably shouldn't get an entangling claw on me. And the Glimpse went to the support, maybe thinking from Insania that they had the kill on the Lycan there, but getting a support over the Lycan, not the outcome Liquid were hoping for. Just honestly a great move from Liquid. The fact they recognized they couldn't take the T2 tower with the Puck TPing in, but then they knew that this mid lane was free for, like, basically to take a fight and to defend. Puck's not there, so they can kind of trickle in one by one to defend it and catch any stragglers with the Glimpse.
And because they have this bear, they're not, they're not 4v5, they are 5v5, while the 6th man, the Shadow Fiend, is back in the jungle, and they're just killing off XM, Static Storm, Roar, and that's it.
Radiant's bottom
This time they will take the T2 tower with a kill on the Puck. There's no AoE to defend this, there's no group stroke, a quick T2 tower, and an outpost control going to be going the way of Team Liquid.
It just happens so quickly as well. Like, I'm looking at SF, he's farming Ancients, suddenly they're killing a Puck down bottom with a swift move in. And it doesn't really feel like they've got super heavy reliance on long cooldown ultis. Static Storm, Roar, they'll be back up in a minute and a half.
Yep. Oh, agree. And I mean, for Vichy, it just feels like they're going to be constantly in this like kind of 4v5 battles to defend towers if they ever happen. With Morphling always needing a bit more farm, like he's going to go for this fast linkers, but this doesn't really like allow him to suddenly be this big contributor to a team fight. He needs more than that. And on the Liquid side, you're going to have an SF who gets a fast BKB, and once level 15 comes in, presence affecting buildings, Liquid are going to be looking for like a Roshan into high ground push.
Yeah, and that Lincoln doesn't save you against Static Storm, against the fear from Requiem. Still problems here for Erica to try and contend with in these team fights.
Shapeshift just to escape here.
Oh, wow. Run away quickly. Little Wolfie. And Liquid already amassing a 5k lead. 3-10. Vichy Gaming, they need so much more time. It's 14 minutes in, but it feels like Liquid, they're in their mid to late game already, right? They're ready to actually go and finish this game off in the next 5-10 minutes.
They're not messing around. They're not looking for that, that classic game 3, 60 minutes. We've had 2 stops either way. We're going to get a close game 3. They're looking to close this one out in 25 minutes. Like, they could go for Roche already, but they're kind of almost waiting for some of these, like, BKBs, because you don't want to it's almost like they don't want to get the Aegis too early. They want to be able to, like, go for high ground or something with it. Usually Roshan is more like a, second Roche go high ground, but considering the draft they've got, this could be a Roche _1 into high ground push.
Yeah, very well could be. Matsu hungry to get to potentially his last TI. Gets into the pit with his bear. Vichy Gaming, they're smoking. Yang, BAB, and Frisk all together from the mid lane, but they're not heading towards the pit. They're angling for mid tier 1, or the Ancients, it looks like. As Liquid stalling their Roche take just to shove out that mid wave, trying to scout out and see where Vichy Gaming are lurking.
Yang has a hook shot, but I'd be surprised to see him go for this one. There's Zai position well to block it. Go on it.
Doesn't go for it in the end.
He's going to be a little bit careful. Has going to TP out here, but he gets scouted in this dire jungle. It's going to be an easy kill for, but I have more interest in just finishing up this item or two. The BKB on SF is probably the big one that's going to allow them to go for some kind of a push here.
Yeah, and even tries to catch XM while he's cutting waves and split pushing. Scout out Yang as he's doing the same thing. And Insania was drawing on the map with Boxy there, knowing where Vichy Gaming are planning or intending to play with, and they do catch Yang. Clockwork attempted the hook shot over towards the Ancients, but there's no creeps there.
And Matu just solo pushing top. He's got an Aegis, he's unafraid, he's got the Desolator completed. So this bear is just demolishing buildings at this point of the game. He's like, I don't need my SF, I don't need level 15, we'll just do it now.
Yeah, do it all on my own. Wants to stop him. He's got his 4 branches on his hero, he's got boots, he's all fine.
Honestly, it just feels like Matu's just putting his... I mean, everyone's playing well on the Liquid side, but like, he's just really stepped it up. He's making sure his team doesn't get knocked out, at least not in this best of 3. After a rough game 1 where his slot got shut down, game 2, he is really showing up. Bottom. They've caught XM.
Oh, XM, you can't be dying like this. And Orb is on cooldown for 3 more seconds. Follow-up from Liquid is coming, but it might be too slow now. XM will get a bit of distance. Insania forced that forward. The shards, they don't see him. XM is away in the trees. They get Yang. Masu and Mickey pairing up to take down the Clockwork.
Yeah, Matu's, you know, he sees buildings. He doesn't see here. I mean, he's killing a lot of heroes this game, but he's making sure that the hero kills he gets are right by these objectives. He's taking all these out of tier 2 towers, and 18 minutes in the game, we could see the last outer tower drop on the Vichy Gaming side.
Vichy trying to catch out Zai here, but he's got the back of a Boxy. And they catch onto XM, they'll take down the Pug.
They've just done such a good job of just hunting him down in these side lanes here. They didn't even need the roll for it in the end. Blink Dagger's coming up soon on Boxy. He's actually taking over this bottom lane of farm because now you're going to have a Blink Tusk to catch Puck as well. It's just such a hard game for XM to clear these creep waves, to cut waves, to stop the push from happening, and that's kind of his job. But when you're playing against Beastmaster Disruptor and now a Blink Tusk, it's almost suicidal to try and push out these waves.
Yeah, and it's also synchronized. Hey, Blink on Tusk, BKB Shadow Fiend, the Beastmaster finishes off Helm of the Overlord. Now having this Ancient Ice Shaman, as they can try and pivot back towards mid. The tier 2, well, it's already dead thanks to the Bear and the Shadow Fiend there. And level 15 for SF you've been talking about isn't that far away anymore.
Yeah.
But how long an Aegis? Is it enough to go high ground here?
And it can go higher. They're not going to have the level 15 for it. I don't think they need it. Just the Bear alone is annihilating buildings, and they've really got every item they need at this point.
With 19 minutes in, they forced the glyph already.
Yep. Oh, they're going to glyph their creep wave. That's how much they want to just go push right now.
Keep the steamroller going. Tier 3 didn't stand a chance, just ceases to exist to this Bear. Soulbind comes in. Masu, again, holding Aegis still for a minute and a half, coiling in onto the Shadow Fiend and him, but there isn't any follow-up at all.
And that's all their ultimates. They use Shapeshift, they use Soulbind, they use Coil. What do you do now? This lane of Rax is... it's gone. I don't think you defend it even if you're Vichy Gaming.
I spam out a few orbs, but Eric's wondering why he's not elsewhere on the Sexton Punch. They've got them all. He's dead for 45. And Sam Waning Rip just about gets out of the shards. And the tier 3 falling did reset the glyph, but it only delays the inevitable demise of these buildings as the foundations of Vichy's base, they're just shattered.
Yep. They've still got a mid on Aegis. They may just go for a second lane here. Even without Aegis, I think they just go high ground. Like, this Aegis is not a key part of their push by any means.
Back we go. Up the staircase, Boxy pushed by the coastal snowball across. No shot misses as Yang just annihilated by the physical damage of Liquid. The Bear will die though, requiring a resummon from Matumbaman.
Yeah, I think the Bear has to be a bigger priority for these defenses. Problem is they just don't have... I mean, they can use the orbs and like the stroke, but it's just not easy to kill this Bear without committing a lot of spells.
Sally ho!
Goodness gracious, man. I mean, Vichy, they're trying to move out on the map. You know, they've got this Helm of the Overlord over on Lycan as well, so he has his own Ancient Ice Shaman. But even just getting to a tier 1 mid seems like such a struggle.
Yeah, now we're looking at that level 15 on SF we've been talking about quite a bit.
Dire's
Look at that damage.
tower
10k from the lone druid. He's doubling up the puck. He's quadrupling the amount of damage Morphling's done.
Just a stellar performance from Matu, controlling the game from the mid lane with a hero that you don't normally think of as like this huge playmaker. He's making Lone Druid look like one. The amount of pressure and the ability to just take all these out of towers, like he was taking top tier tower by himself.
And they've got perfect ward coverage to see Vici in the mid lane as well. Liquid knows exactly where they are. So grouping up together, looking like they want to smoke from behind their own tier 1 area mid. But it's Vici to smoke first. Mickey showing on a wolf. Oh, that's pretty clever. They knew he had a wolf on him, so Mickey moves forward. Now they obfuscate the smoke. They're hiding behind him, and they move up to high ground. They get in with Boxy. Immediate punch. Snowball across. The soulbound onto the bear, but Vici Gaming is being obliterated by Mickey and Matumbaman. Down goes Yang along with Frisk, and Vici Gaming full retreat. Not a chance in hell they can fight against this.
Yeah. And another fight where Vici like throw all their spells
Snowball.
and just retreat.
Oh,
boy.
they find the wolf. Little puppy gonna get shredded here, roared up. The Beastmaster tames the Lycan, and Team Liquid looking like they're gonna go high ground again.
They've got a creep wave coming. They just need this top wave. It's a giant wave at that. They just GG out. There's nothing they can do. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna get mega creeps here. I mean, regardless of whether the game ends now, it's gonna end in the next couple of minutes. So, GG Gaming, 22 minutes. We just speed ran through game 3.
Oh yeah, Masumbaman, no messing around from him. Game 2 and 3, a sniper and lone druid, spectacular stuff. He said this could be his last TI. He's looking like he absolutely deserves, needs, requires to get to Singapore and play in those group stages.
And you can see it in their faces. They know the job's not done. They're kind of keeping those emotions like kind of low here. There's still one more best of 3 that Liquid has to get through to make it into the actual TI main event. But a game like that, it feels good, you know, it makes a statement. It's like a, you know, heroes that now VP who are waiting for them have to kind of worry about and kind of consider for the drafts. And yeah, for Liquid, at least having such a straightforward, easy game 3, it means they're not going to end up in that grueling, long, like 7, 8, 9 hour day where you're playing like best of 3s that go like 60, 70 minutes.
Yeah, lower bracket momentum. I think it was Fear saying that you've got that morale boost. A victory gives you that nice little platform to launch yourself into the next best of 3. As of course we do have that.